Welcome to the Calyrex Game Corner's Pokemon D&D campaign, featuring Cindy, a hot-headed teen with a penchant for arson, Gimli, an admirable father seeking to reunite his family, Elodie, a fun-loving baker with a whimsical heart, and Schmidt, a courageous young man searching for his purpose with a duck. Together, they make the Packo, and this is Dunsparce and Drampa. The Packo spent the bulk of their evening on the day following the Moss Deep City calamity talking with Uranus, a recently defected Neo-Rocket Galactic admin who has asked for their help. In exchange for valuable information pertaining to NRG's final plot, the Packo have agreed to see what they can do to return Yuri's Basculegion back to him, the ghost-type fish Pokemon taken from him in name of the Artemis Protocol. Yuri has expressed that NRG already has everything in place that they need to complete the sinister ritual to connect to the reverse world and commune with the former Team Galactic boss. However, if the Packo are able to efficiently recruit the help of some of the citizens of the Hoenn region that they have met during their adventures, they may muster enough forces to prevent a truly apocalyptic scenario. After some libations and some snacks, Yuri prepares to turn in for the night, as the sun has set and Mr. Mimosas is close to closing. Outside of RP, just because I realized it was something that had not been touched on and it might tie up a loose end, why did NRG want cabbage? Why was that a new development? Yuri will explain to you over the course of the night that it was similar to why all the ghost-type Pokemon are being captured, but not exactly the same. NRG had realized, after some research, that the Pixie Plate's location was likely extraterrestrial. It was on the moon. So they needed a powerful fairy type for two reasons. They needed one to, confirm that they have accurately identified the Pixie Plate, because you guys have the Atlas Stone, so they can't do that. Secondly, they needed a fairy type to channel the infinity energy bomb that they were building on the moon as well. So kind of to explode her and also use her as a radar. That was their goal. Fairy types are not common in Hoenn, and there's only one in the admin's ranks, which is Enyo's Gardevoir, and Yuri does not know why Gardevoir was not selected instead of Cabbage, why they didn't just use Gardevoir. Does anyone else have any other questions or loose ends that Yuri might be able to help with?
I just remembered we had a question, which was that, I don't remember if we did ask this, but we were going to ask about the prisoners that they have, like Gimli's grandparents. Or not Gimli's grandparents.
Cindy's grandparents.
They have my grandparents too?
Gimli, they're dead. They've been dead for a while.
No.
No, my whole family lives until at least 120.
Very good.
Damn, okay.
I think you asked a little bit about the captives, but are you asking specifically, do you just want to recap, or was there specific captives that you had questions about?
If they have other captives or where the captives are.
Got it. Yeah, so I may have already said some things, but I'll just repeat it just for the sake of clarity. All of the captive people are aboard the mothership, which is the largest of the Zeppelins. It is called the NRG Renegade. That's the name of the ship. They are kept in different types of holding. They are all kept alive, to his knowledge, and some are higher security than others. He was able to confirm the presence of Cindy's grandparents, as well as Gemma, Gimli's wife, and he's aware of some other just general hostages, captives, etc. Oh, yeah, no, there is another one. He will kind of lean into the table and be like, you gotta, this is a bit of a hot topic, and if you reveal this to the public, I mean, that's kind of your decision, but I can explain to you the reason why the Hoenn government, specifically Champion May, has not been very proactive in halting NRG's efforts. And he will explain that it is because they have her father, Norman. He has been detained as bargaining to initiate all these acts of terror across Hoenn, leaving May with very little recourse to do anything about it.
Are we going to go viral on Jolt TikTok again? Because we could leak this.
I love leaks.
Norman to get killed, yeah.
Oh, that's true. They probably would backlash and kill him.
Wow.
Yuri would acknowledge that is pretty likely because he is the captivity of Norman is entirely why they haven't been stopped, basically.
That's so sick. It's oh yeah, they would just kill him, huh?
They would, right?
That's crazy.
I mean, they're evil.
They would just do that.
Yeah, Yuri doesn't count it out. He thinks that is quite likely.
We probably should not. Also, I think going viral on Joel TikTok is, in general, a bad idea at this point. We should probably move in silence.
What? No,
it's done so good for us before.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, Schmidt's been working on a new dance to show everyone on Joel TikTok. You got to show everyone.
Yeah.
Any other loose ends or questions for Yuri? He's looking sleepy.
I think we're good, right, gang?
Right, gang?
Guess we're good.
Hello?
That's it.
Thanks,
Yeah.
gang. Thanks, gang.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
no, that's cool, gang.
Gimli proceeds to stand up and leave Mr. Mimosas while everyone else is catatonic.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we're good, gang. And I'll just.
Did we have any other notes?
I'm looking. I think that was.
Notes.
I swear we did ask him about the journal.
Yeah, we did have a conversation about the journal.
Oh,
last
Cindy
Yeah.
could ask whose Trubbish she has. Do we have information on that? Can I
Sure.
ask about Trubbish?
Yeah, you can ask about Trubbish. Do you like reveal Trubbish or just show the Pokeball or describe the situation?
You know what? Nothing says Mr. Mimosas like letting out a trash bag into into the dining area.
Wow. Truly.
Wahoo! DC 11 con save for every individual, please.
Fuck.
No,
yeah.
I thought it was just the con save for Trubbish to throw up.
And that as well, please.
But
we
he's
have to
stinky
deal
as
with. So he's
fuck.
still a smelly guy.
You guys are
dude.
indoors. That's the main problem.
24.
Yeah.
in a
Okay.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Trubbish does not throw up.
Very
Good
good.
job.
Thank goodness.
However, Cindy. Natural 19 on that
Okay.
con save.
Elodie Schmidt.
8.
8. Okay.
13.
Okay, very good. No one vomits. He certainly is stinky. And the mimes and the last lingering patrons are all gonna like make disgusting sounds and be like, put that away, and just be very upset, and people will just straight up leave. And it's so close to closing anyway. A couple of mimes like stand by and they put their hands on their hips and they look very frustrated.
Yeah,
But
they don't have noses though, so they're fine.
that's true. Smell proof and soundproof, perhaps. Yuri will take a look while pinching his nose. He'll say, "No, I haven't seen that before. You said you got it from the old magma hideout?"
Yes, and there were lockers there. And I have reasonable suspicion that my parents were also there because I found a photo of them in a locker there as well.
Yuri will say, "Yeah, quite a few energy members use that base, but Team Magma did before them. So as far as whether that Trubbish belongs to Energy Grunt or a Magma Grunt, honestly, up in the air. Could be either.
Cool. Well, it likes me, so
Rock on, kid. You can
it's
keep
been
it."
hanging out with me.
Yuri will stand up from the booth and he will express that it was good to talk with you and that he's obviously hopeful for a successful final battle whenever you decide to pursue it. And that if you have any other questions for him, that he's just going to be staying in Moss Deep City until you decide to go on the initiative and go to Evergrande City. That is also to say, mechanically, while you're zooming around, we can treat Moss Deep as kind of like a home base. You can always come back to Moss Deep and talk to the people here just for roleplay or for insight or to ask questions. And among those people include also Steven. Steven is going to stay in Moss Deep, as well as like Tate and Liza and some other folks who are around here. But Archie and Maxi are going to go back home to Fall Arbor Town. But Yuri's going to stick around as well. And TMF and Jim Lee will also be around. I guess I should ask, is the Packo also going to turn in for the night? Or are they going to get started and start traveling and seeing who they can talk to for help and see who they can recruit?
How much time do we think we have, gang?
What time is it?
I'm not going to add any timer for staying the night. I think this is just going to be for missions. If you want to get a sleep, just for flavor, you're welcome to do so.
I think we should probably sleep before we start.
Seems like a good idea.
That's at least 50%. What was that?
Do we want to plan before we sleep?
That's probably a good idea.
Sure, yeah. Look at your map and look at, reminisce on the folks that you've met in the region and discuss on where you want to go.
I definitely want to go to Dewford because Jim Lee has none of his Pokemon still, except for his Golem. So that would be an obvious thing to do.
But I think we were gonna do that with all of us and then pair up for.
Yeah,
pretty much
I'm just
everything.
rattling off
Yeah.
things that I actually want to go to first before we decide groupings, if that makes sense.
Okay. Sky Pillar.
Yeah.
I think, personally, as much as it would be cool to be there while Schmidt is doing Skypillar stuff, I think it would be exceptionally cool if Schmidt did that one alone. Like, just Schmidt at the Skypillar summoning Rayquaza. That'd be sick. But if we still want to pair for that, that's true.
Pairs.
Okay, cool.
I still think we pair for that, yeah.
Yeah.
I still think we pair for most things.
So I think, obviously, each of us want to go to our individual things. Is there anyone else's individual thing that somebody wants to pair with them on, or anywhere else anyone wants to go besides, like, obviously everyone going to Dewford?
So the mechanic that has been presented to us is like the more we do, the stronger our enemies get.
But then we also get stronger in tandem.
Yeah. So do we just want to do everything?
Yo!
And that's kind of the argument. It's like, do you want to do very little things or do you want to do everything? Because
What
you
about the
also
middle?
don't know the scale. The scale's not even. Like, you're treating it as if the scale's even.
I'm not treating it as if the scale's even. I just don't think that even with their full prep time, like, I don't think we auto lose, you know?
Sure, because that would
Like, I
be
still
as
think there's a
fun.
chance, yeah.
I don't have attachment to literally anything except for going to Dewford, so I will be gladly pairing up with whoever. There's like nothing else here that I personally want to do for like lore implications.
Was that one of your...
However, on the map, yeah, Gimli has a thing on the map. I was looking at it.
Lava Ridge. And
Lava Ridge, and where is that? Is that where you found Bean?
yeah, it
No,
looks
Bean
like
was outside of Mauville, right?
no.
It was on our way from Lily Cove
It's
to
the
somewhere.
it's the total route.
Wait, oh, okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
Yeah, some of it's where we found like partners. and stuff.
What if we
Yeah.
just do all of our character-specific vignettes?
right, that's what I was thinking. I think that was our plan.
Yeah, I think
I think
doing
that's
everything might
minimum.
be a bit excessive.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to
I think-
reiterate this thing that I typed, which is random. I should have specified random. Like non-character associated areas with one boon will usually be more significant, and also your character specific. It's a tricky dynamic because I can't tell you what things energy is gaining. So if you do just your character things, that puts you in a position where they won't necessarily have all of the buffs that I can give them. But I don't know. Yeah, up to you guys. You could also like poll. It's a little silly, but like maybe residents of Moss Deep, you can make some insight checks and ask them about these places to try and get some details on what might be going on. You can remember when like all of these are more or less related to things you did on your journey. I don't think anything is random. I think every location is going to be like, oh, this is related to the thing that we did here. Obviously, you haven't been to Pacific Log and you haven't been to Mount Pyre, but it still ties into stuff that you've done.
Yeah, Mount Pyre's like super obvious because it's like it's all the ghosts that we let out to like do stuff. Like if they're still like available and didn't get absorbed, they all went to Mount Pyre from Mauville. So
I would definitely recommend like your character specific ones. I'm discounting the time it takes, so I wouldn't even consider those, honestly. I mean, unless you do want to go minimum and just do those, that's cool. But I would recommend some of these things are like really potent. Maybe just try a couple and vibe it out, and if you don't like it, maybe just call it. Or if you like it, keep getting them. Up to you. It's hard. I really want to I don't want to point you one way or another, and I can't tell you what's going on, and I also can't tell you what energy is getting. So it's like,
no, exactly. It's totally fair.
it's just guessing.
So maybe we should pick maybe one or two that are not character specific. Try them, and then,
And
like you were
and
saying,
see,
we should
yeah.
try them, and then
Yeah,
see
we
if
want to
wanna
do all the
continue.
character specific ones, like for sure.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah.
I think that's probably a good way to go about it. Just like feel it out based on vibes on if you want to keep grabbing more or not.
Okay, I think that's reasonable.
Okay.
So then, question for the chat: which ones do we want to look at? Like, we should probably list out like which ones are character specific first, so we know not to consider them for like the non-character specific.
Well, some of the ones that are character specific also have a black dot, so that means there's like another thing there too. Is
Right.
that
So
what that's
well,
saying?
we will
Oh,
be doing
I-
those anyway. Right?
Yeah, I kind of botched it. Like, there's multiple
Okay.
in Meteor Falls, but there's only one in Sootopolis. So, like, it's a little confusing that way. I'm sorry. I could have made that more clear. I would reference the list for the number of boons that are at.
Mm.
Oh,
each
how many
area.
boons are? Okay.
Okay.
So like Sky Pillar is character specific plus an actual boon.
Correct.
Who has the most
And-
like combined? I think it's just the one that's
It should
Cindy and
be-
Gimli.
Yes.
Aside
it's the
from
only-
Dewford, where we were all gonna go.
Yeah, Dewford and Lava Ridge are the only combinations. And everyone should have
Okay.
2
I think it's 3.
or
3.
3. Yeah, everyone should have 3.
It's 3.
Like I think
I
agree
definitely
with
have
all.
3, and if not everyone has 3, that's kind of weird.
Oh, I missed one, I think. Oh, never mind, I didn't.
Got 3.
It could be a good
No, I
time
think I got
to,
all of them.
you know,
Oh
discuss.
no, you only have 2. Yeah, there's only 2 pink.
Did I only?
No, there.
Oh no, that
There's
one's
3.
Sootopolis.
I'm in
I'm sorry, I
Dewford.
missed Sootopolis.
Yeah, Sootopolis and Dewford and Fall
Yeah,
River.
I missed Sootopolis.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like if you aren't sure what one of the random ones are, maybe as a group, like discuss what did we do here, who did we meet here,
Yeah.
and maybe that could give you clues.
Ooh.
Perhaps.
Route. I don't fucking know. South of Mauville is where we met the hooded figure. I mean,
Mm.
Which rout's that?
Are you talking about? That's right at the trick house.
Yeah, that's
the trick house.
house.
Oh, shit! Go to the trick house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to the trick
Okay,
house.
we're going to the trick
Want
house.
to come with me? We're going to the trick house.
I'm down. I'm down for
All right,
trick
all
house.
right, Squiz, where are we going? Well, the girls are at the trick house.
Okay. Let's look at our list here. You want to go with me to Fortree?
Yeah, I'll go to Fortree. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'm scared of that one.
Isn't Fortree where we met Zoe?
That's
Fortree-
where her house is.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
I don't know if that's that's. What
I think that could be like. Let me look. What does Fortree have? 2 things?
It does.
Yeah, Fortree has 2. So one of them could be Winona, and one of them could be.
Yeah, I was
Zoe's house.
like, I think Winona is.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, ooh.
Well, I mean, maybe you guys can also pick one because Schmidt has to go there anyway because it's one of Schmidt's
Right.
things.
So yeah, if you guys want to pick a different one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pick one that's not tied to any
neutral.
character.
Yeah, we need to.
Yeah,
Oh,
so we're
okay.
gonna go to the Trick House, which is not tied to a character.
I was gonna say that I know like Cindy has one in Petalburg, but maybe we all meet up in Dewford and then take these nuts back to Petalburg so we can turn her back in to the rental place.
And then they say
that
keep
might
the
not be
ship,
it.
and it's like hell yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a priority, but
I mean, if travel doesn't count, we can't get shipwrecked again on 100 course.
right, that's true.
Right?
So,
right?
For neutral stuff, I'm kind of curious about Mount Pyre. I can't lie, and then I think I'm also interested in what the hell is that little town next to the Sky Pillar?
Pacific
Pacific
Log.
Pacific Log.
I'd join you on Pacific.
Yeah, I think we can go to because then we can Pacific chain to Sky Pillar. I know there's no travel time, but it feels more natural
Yeah.
that we would go there anyway before Sky Pillar.
So is it Schmidt and Gimli for Skypillar as well?
Yeah, I think that would make sense. Yeah, unless we wanted like lore moment for somebody else to join Schmidt at Sky Pillar, but I can gladly help the hero on his hero's journey. Just be the Samwise.
I like it. I like it.
Cool. So that's character specifics plus 1 for each pair, right?
For some
yeah.
of them.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Oh no,
Maybe-
that was 2 neutral and then character specifics.
yes,
We still have to distribute who's going to what. But yeah, that's like what we were
that's
deciding on right
that's
now.
probably a good initial layout, and then depending on what you see, maybe you
Yeah.
do more. So that's
I
pretty
kind
great.
of want to see, like, obviously the character ones we're gonna do. I kind of want to. I know it might not be in order per se of like how it would make sense to travel. I do like. I want to see what at the trick house like before we get too much farther into planning, because if it's like really really good, then it's like, oh, we might want to do more of these little dots.
So you want to do the neutral ones first?
I think so.
Yeah. Get a
Because then we can
vibe check.
continue
do we want to
planning before
decide
we lock
the
in
pairings
everything.
or no?
Should we? What do we have enough space to do every single combination?
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
This
I
is
don't have any
pair-
Elodie ones. It's the only thing I'm missing. So
Yeah, we can do something together. Yeah, and make sure we get every permutation.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be so fun.
Yeah, so like for
you just
Cindy,
need one
she
for
has
Schmidt.
Petalburg. Yeah, I need one for Schmidt. Me and Cindy need one for Schmidt. So Schmidt has one left. so
I'm
we
with
need
Schmidt
all.
like 3 times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I could easily
Okay.
trade one out. Like go like
We could trade like Fortree or something.
yeah, like you got one of you can go within
Or-
the Fortree.
One of you desperately want to go to Skypillar.
Yeah. Either
I
way.
mean, I could go to Meteor Falls. That sounds fun.
Yeah, but it leave that's the only one left for Schmidt. That's why I'm asking. 'cause we
Oh.
both
Well,
need a
but like
pairing.
Schmidt
there's
could come with me to like Fall Arbor or something.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then one of you would need to come with me to Fall Arbor, and one of you would need to come with me to Sootopolis. I don't know if either of you have a preference.
I'm curious of Sootopolis.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go to Fall Arbor.
Okay. It looks like none of these visits are going to be solo. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
so,
we're
yeah.
pairing. We want to pair up
Good
for
photo.
everything, at least 2.
Okay. Yeah, you'll be rolling DCs. Some of them are predetermined what skill they are, some are not. Regardless, they're all going to be reduced by 4 if you're going to pair up.
Yeah.
So that's pretty dang good. Do you guys want to get started, or do you want to RP a long rest?
Are we gonna RP a long rest, or we just sleeping and eating buffet food from the 2 Lenoon butlers again?
It's not a bad life, especially after the weeks of adventure
we can
you've been on.
we can probably rest.
You guys are welcome to return to the Seaside Resort. Mr. Mimosas, it's not that they're hostile, but it is Trubba should make it kind of stinky, and they are trying to close, so they will more or less escort you out. You can return to the Seaside Resort. Again, you're staying for absolutely free. And again, when you enter, the clerk behind the counter, as well as just the guests in the lobby, all just regard you with some reverence. They all recognize you as the heroes that saved Moss Deep. The bronze-on elevator will take you up to your snazzy penthouse suite up at the top. The 2 Lion butlers will be awaiting for you, and you're welcome to tuck into bed and have a long rest. Does anyone want to do anything in the hotel before they sleep?
Where's Calvin's mom staying? Should
Great
Schmidt
question.
follow up on that?
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not a vignette. Kind of cringe.
Yeah,
I
someone.
think it's fine.
Anyone is welcome to make any sort of check to determine where she might be staying. Probably history might be the best way to do that.
That's y'all's check. I'm good.
Got a
If he's on
six
not
the
interested, I'm good.
die. +2. 8 for history.
Okay, yeah, Cindy's not really sure. She knows off of an 8 that they didn't stay in the same hotel. That's for sure.
Okay.
Okay. Packo will sleep through the night and prepare to start their day. They can sleep as long as they like. The Linoons will cook them breakfast. As a reminder, y'all have a free shopping trip as well for outfits.
I was just going to wear my hotel fit.
Yeah, that's cool too. Yeah. It may be something to think about for, final boss outfits.
Schmidt will get up early and go shopping for his outfit.
Oh, very good. Is he going to shop in Moss Deep City?
Yeah.
Okay. Is anyone going to join Schmidt?
I think the idea was Schmidt got up early so he'd be ready.
Oh, so he'd be alone. He wants to be alone. Got it. Yeah, Schmidt can head on down to Faymart right around 7 a.m. or so, maybe even earlier. I don't know what Schmidt's schedule is like. And Faye is working. There's a little bing bong as you enter the mart, and Faye greets you with enthusiasm. Welcome, Schmidt. What can I get for you?
Okay, I have a very specific idea for an outfit, and I need your help.
Faye will say, absolutely. And she'll procure a little notebook and a pen, and she will be prepared to write, and she'll give you a little nod, and she'll say, go ahead.
Schmidt will draw out a sketch on a notebook,
Mm-hmm.
and then he'll be like, I'm looking for something like this.
Okay. She'll take a look at it. She'll say, okay, well, thankfully you already got the cape, some boots, some buckles, I see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can put something like that together. Just give me 1 minute. And she will go into the clothing section of Faymart, which seems like it's somehow in the past 2 days recently expanded somehow. And she will return with exactly the items you've described. And she sets them on the counter and she says, here you go.
Sick.
She says, you're welcome to take it pro bono since you saved the town and you got me my job, basically, in a weird backwards way. Don't worry about it. And tell your friends to come visit, too.
Sick. And then he'll give her a metallic thumbs up.
Okay, with the bird hand.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Also, note, most of the campaign, Schmidt had been hiding the metal bird hand,
yeah.
but it's on full display now.
No shame,
he's
no
wearing
glove.
Yeah.
That's cool. The time has come. Let the people know. She doesn't make any sort of grimace or particular reaction to the metal hand. She thinks it's kind of cool. Anything else for Schmidt?
Nope.
Very
I guess
good.
change my clothes.
Yeah. You can do that there or back at the hotel. You can do whatever you want. Anyone else have morning errands they would like to commit to?
Guess I'll commit to my outfit. I'm on Dickies looking at overalls, so.
Okay. So are you also going to go visit Faymart?
Yeah. I'm okay, need a final fight outfit. Just get the moss green overalls.
Yeah.
Steel toe boots.
No, yeah, she has no issue procuring this at all. It's pretty common for adventurers to wear this type of clothing, actually.
I was do you have a mining hat as well with a little lamp I can get on there? I don't know. It could be dark.
She said, yeah, absolutely. Let me get that for you. What color?
We'll go with a classic safety yellow.
She says, very good. She'll rummage around and bring those items forward. And she says, I think these are your size. And she will tell you the same thing that she told Schmidt. It's all for free because you're heroes.
Oh, do you guys have gloves too? I might need some workman's gloves.
She says, absolutely. They're all on the rack. And she will point to the rack. And she says, you can help yourself. There's a whole bunch of colors. Any kind of color you want.
I gotta get the matching forest green.
Perfect. And the overalls are over a short sleeve shirt, right? Like a work shirt. Okay. Awesome.
Oh yeah, tan short sleeve shirt, that fit.
Perfect. Brown boots?
Oh yeah, brown boots, steel toed. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Yeah. You're able to get all those items and you are all set, all good to go.
Hell yeah.
Perfect. Elodie and Cindy will find some time during the day to make their way over to Faymart. Faye is, of course, still working. It seems like her store has recently expanded. She's willing to help you get whatever kind of outfit that you want. as long as it is fully cosmetic. She will also sell you goods that might be more practical, but you can wear anything you like. So whoever wants to go first.
Did I already purchase an Eviolite?
I don't believe you did. Faye would gladly sell you one.
I need one.
You will pay 500. That sounds about fair.
Yeah.
Okay, 500 Pokédollars to be exchanged for a little pinkish purple orb that seems to have a profound effect on Pokemon that have yet to fully evolve. Did you
Straight to
take
basket?
Yeah, did you take note of the effect?
No.
I think it was advantage on saves in combat, and it was +2 AC. Make you bulky.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Cool.
We're gonna give that to Basket the Carkle, who will remain a Carkle, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Very fun.
As far as outfit, I want a t-shirt that says "Get lit, bro" instead of "That's lit, bro."
Go on.
It looks the same, just says "Get lit, bro" on it instead.
Okay, so it's still like yellow tee.
Yeah, with
Awesome.
a flame on it.
Mm-hmm.
Denim shorts, some like flame shoes of some capacity. If possible, a cape that looks like a flame.
Hell yeah. Faye's got all that stuff. What else?
Like little wrist cuff things with flames on them.
I'm picturing like the fuzzy bracelets that rollerbladers wear. Is that kind of angle, or is it something else?
I mean, I drew it in. I put it in campaign art.
Yeah, but it's an audio podcast. I'm trying to get your description.
I know. I don't know. I didn't draw any texture, so they can
Uh-huh.
have whatever texture.
Yeah, listeners, just turn your attention to
Peter.
campaign art, and you will find that
And no,
image we're discussing.
Not
it'll be on Discord. Join
Yeah.
the Discord.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, just join the Discord for exclusive look content of your outfits.
It might go on Patreon at some point too. Who knows?
I mean, they could like.
Oh.
You mean like sweatbands, like wrist?
Yes,
sweatbands.
sweatbands. I guess that's what they are, right?
Sure.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Mhm.
Any other descriptor?
I mean, I drew fishnet tights because I thought that'd be funsies. but
Sure.
I can take or leave them.
Here's a question. Throughout the campaign, it's been in different kind of levels of stealth. Are you loud and proud wearing Arceus amulet around neck, or is it tucked away?
Oh, I guess we can have it out.
Okay, very fancy. It's a fun contrast with the rest of Cindy's outfit because Cindy is such a teen and got such a youthful fashion sense, and this amulet has the look of something that like maybe a 90-year-old grandmother who is very pious might wear. So it's a fun kind of contradiction. Very cool. Anything else for Cindy?
I think that's it.
Okay,
Chat, any ideas for items that I might need?
great.
You got the
Uh,
EV light you needed, right?
Yes.
And all your main squad mates all have items. Like, does everyone have something?
We got charcoal. We got. Fang has the rocky helmet, but I don't know if it does anything.
If he gets attacked with a contact move, it does stuff.
Okay.
Do you have a Dragon Fane, or is that something that Schmidt has? I feel like a Dragon Fane was distributed at some point, but
I have
forget
a
what.
razor claw.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I have
Uh,
a sharp beak.
Razor Claw's a good item.
have-
It decreases your crit threshold, so you can crit on 19 instead of 20.
Oh.
Or,
I
and for
didn't know
saves,
that.
it would be crit on 2 instead of just 1.
Okay. I also have was it like mystical water?
Yeah, Mystic Water. I don't think you have any Pokemon that can use that, though.
Kyogre.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The water type. Right.
Larvastar. I don't know if Larvastar has anything.
You could shop for something. You could give it a berry. It would definitely do well with a bunch of the berries that you
A
got.
berry. Yeah.
Yeah. Up to
Okay.
you. Whatever you
I'll
want to do.
hold on that for now.
Okay.
I think I'll be I'll assess the berry situation.
You'll have plenty of time. Very cool. Any other
All right.
little flavor things?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Elodie, our Rizzler, the number 1 Riz member of the Quacko Packo, what are you going to wear?
It's me, the Rizzler.
Yes.
So I had a bit of a process to land where I did with the idea for Elodie's final costume.
Mhm.
So I kind of want to talk through a bit of my process, and I'll send images, but I'll describe them so
Sure.
we'll know like what's going on. So the first idea I had was to like give her outfit an element from like each of her Pokemon, but then I was like, that's gonna look really like busy and kind of crowded, and it did. So I was like, never mind, let's not go that way. But the idea was like taking Cabbage's original little candies and like putting them in the hair, and then having like a stone on the chest for Carbank, having like a little cloud-looking boa thing for Altaria, having like a pearl belt thing for Primarina, the Clefairy wings, the Iron Valiant skirt situation. What else did we have? There was going to be like a keychain for Lipard. But yeah, I didn't like it. I was like, this is too busy. It's not working for me. And then I found kind of a cute dress that I was like, this is like definitely Elodie vibes. And it's like kind of pink and blue swirl the way that cabbage is, and it looks like kind of fairy vibes. It's got like a handkerchief hem thing, and then I was like, this isn't anything too crazy. And then I was like inspired by Schmidt's outfit of having the like, what is the word I'm looking for? Like jumpsuit type vibe. And I was like, what if we went that way? So I've kind of settled on, I think what we're going to do is having like a white jumpsuit to kind of contrast, to kind of emulate the like astronaut vibes, like astronaut suit vibes, but it's like sleek and white. And then having like because we all need a cape, like we decided. Kind of looks like Cabbage has her kind of curviness to her, so it's like kind of curvy like that. And then some high boots, and then obviously like the hooper ring, and I think keeping the like cabbage candies is a cute idea.
Oh yeah.
There was at one point I was like, oh, I should like incorporate the fact that she's a baker, and then I was like, actually, I think the outfit should not, because I think she's come so far. I don't think she's just a baker anymore, and I kind of want the outfit to reflect that. So I was thinking kind of like spacey vibes, keep it simple, fashionable. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
That rules. Thanks for the process.
Awesome.
All very cool. Of course, Faye has no issue getting you these items. It's exactly what you're looking for. It's almost like she knew you were coming to get you exactly what you wanted. That's yeah, I like the final take on the astral theme. I think the boots that you've sketched also tie into that. That's pretty fun.
Epic.
Really cool stuff. Thank you for that. Is there any other sort of shopping that you would like to conduct?
I think I'm good for now.
Great. Faymart will check the two of you out, and you can be on your merry way. What's next for the Packo?
Do you guys want to go to Pacific Log first, or do you want us to go to the Trick House first?
I kind of want to see what's up with the Trick House, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Trick House Gaming.
Yeah, Trick House Gaming seems right.
Okay, very good. You know, between the Packo, there's Diana, the Gyarados, Altarias, our Blueberry, and Patricia. Even for some like water travel, there's Bubblegum, the Primarina, and Grapejuice, the Swampert. And like Salamence can fly around. Basically, everyone can contribute to movement besides Gimli, but that's fine. Gimli's very rugged and a hiker, and can also just hop on a Gyarados or an Altaria or whatever. So the party is able to quickly move wherever they decide they need to go. Up first, Elodie and Cindy make their way across Hoenn because they're thinking about the allies and just citizens in general that they've met throughout their adventures. One particular location that comes to mind that originally granted Elodie an artifact that proved hugely useful until it broke, the Hooper Ring, came from the Trick House at Route 110, just south of Cycling Road between Slateport and Mauville cities. So Elodie and Cindy make their way there, and they find themselves in front of the Trick House. It seems like an unassuming little like classic Hoenn-style wooden house. The door is closed. What do you do?
Knock, knock, bitch.
Sure. Yeah. Cindy delivers the
Sorry.
knock, knock, bitch. And there is a kind of a come in sound from the inside. Do you open the door and enter?
Heck yeah.
Very good. You see a super ordinary looking room. It doesn't particularly resemble what you saw when you first came here. It's like literally just a table in the middle of the room, some bookcases, a couple windows, just a super ordinary looking place. And there's a kooky looking old man sitting at the table. He's bald, his eyes are wrinkled shut, and in his ears he's wearing two huge golden hoop earrings. He will say to each of you, welcome back. You've already solved my puzzles. What can I do for you now?
Listen, we are getting ready to face off against the evil Team NRG and thwart their plans to destroy this world. And we would really appreciate your help in taking them down.
The old man will stroke his chin, and it seems like he is squinting in thought, but it's hard to tell because his eyeballs are not at all visible. His giant hoop reins will dangle in his ears, and he'll say, and why should I, the trick master, help you?
Do you like playing tricks on people in this house and in this world?
The old man will say, well, yes, you could say it's my whole will to live.
Well, if NRG destroys this world, then you won't be able to do that anymore.
Very good. Roll a persuasion, please.
14?
14. It's good enough. Old man of the trick house, H. Trick, seemingly, will say, I think you have a point. I've had my eyes on those NRG freaks, and I think I know what they're up to. You're gonna need the big guns if you're gonna try and take them down. He stands up, and he holds his arms in like a T-pose, and he does a goofy-ass spin. He goes incredibly fast, and then at some point, his human body disappears, and he reappears as a little imp floating pixie guy. You recognize this as Hoopa. You had a food fight with Hoopa a few weeks back. Hoopa will say, here, take this. This should serve you quite well. And he dislodges one of his giant earrings, and he shakes it around, and instead of becoming golden, it becomes like a spooky purple color, and it's like surging with evil-looking shadows. And he says, when the time comes, give this a throw, and I will come to lend my aid.
Thank you. This is really helpful.
And so you may add Cursed Hoopa Ring to your inventory, and we will reveal what your boon is. It is, I'll read it out loud, but you can also read it. It is Hoopa's Big Trick. You will get access to summon actions in the final boss fight. At the end of your turn, you are welcome to perform a summon action. As a summon action, Hoopa arrives at the final battle and becomes unbound. They use their portal power to call the aid of a legendary on the following D12 table, where the summoned legendary will obey the allies for 3 turns.
Yo!
Holy fuck.
Holy shit!
That's pretty cool.
Let's go!
Now, this is the first vignette you've done. They're not all like this, okay? Just for the record, you just chose well. Okay. The unlabeled ones, like the non-character specific ones, some of them are this crazy, but you picked a pretty particularly crazy one, just so you know. And that is one vignette done. Congratulations. What's next?
Top that Pacific log.
I guess we'll check Pacific log and then accidentally see Mirage Island. Let's
Yep.
So that's Schmidt and Gimli.
Yep.
Schmidt and Gimli, leaving from Moss Deep, think about the mysterious places in Hoenn that they haven't been yet. And one of the more iconic towns in Hoenn is Pacific Log Town. It's not one that they encountered on their adventures, but it is one that is quite notorious. It is a town that is completely built on basically floating pieces of wood, just adrift in the Hoenn Sea. Gimli and Schmidt thought it was pertinent to pay a visit. You arrive at this funny little town. There's only a few houses. There's a Pokemon Center. And you see a man sitting outside the Pokemon Center wearing a straw hat. He's got a fishing line that is like in a bucket that is dangling into the water. He's clearly not doing any fishing. And he's playing on a mysterious ocarina. It is pink in color, and it's making some beautiful, beautiful sounds. You feel compelled to say something to him. What do you say?
Sick tunes, bro.
Very good.
Yeah, it's a lovely song you're playing, sir.
One or both of you, please just roll a charisma. Yeah, sure, that can be the tune.
Oh, I crit?
Okay.
Okay. I don't think my 11 matters then.
Yeah, that's fine. With the critical success, this gentleman will peer up from his tune, and you had the courtesy to make sure that you made a comment in like a lull, seemed like he was done with the piece. He will look at the two of you and he will say, "Hi, thank you. I think I recognize you from the television. You're the Packo, aren't you?"
That we also.
He says, "You've done a lot for the little island communities of Hoenn. I've heard of your exploits in Dewford Town and as well as Moss Deep City just this past weekend. Seems like y'all have some good heads on your shoulders and you're out to save the world. Am I right about that?"
We're trying, sir.
He says, "It also seems like you may be enthusiasts for some good music. Is that also true?"
I always love a good tune, sir.
Yep.
He says, "Excellent. Well, as patrons of quality music and the heroes of the Hoenn region, I have a gift for you." And he stands up and he hands you his little ocarina.
Oh.
He says, "I'm not entirely sure what kind of challenges you are soon to face here in Hoenn, but play in my little ocarina, and I'm sure that you will find some help." So he gives you the Corsola ocarina. As a summon action, you can call forth a tidal wave of Corsola to disrupt the battlefield. Create a 20-foot line and move it up to 30 feet in any direction. All targets smaller than Gargantuan are pushed along the line to a final location within range.
I'm not gonna lie, the legendary one's super cool, and I like this better.
Yeah, this is better.
I think Gimli needs this flute.
Oh yeah, that's like
I think that definitely that's
Can
crowd
you
control.
show me how
That's
it
your
works?
shit
Sir?
right
I'm not
there.
very musically inclined, but I can.
Oh god, oh god.
Yeah, so yeah, you can say, well, some people are skeptical as how Pacific Log floats on the sea, especially considering the route just to the west is full of vicious rapids. I'll tell you a little secret. Some of these houses are floating, not necessarily even floating, they're on stilts made of living Corsola who keep the town held up on their own accord. And so if you hand it over to him, he'll play a little tune, a little ditty that Gimli will have no problem memorizing, and this ocarina is particularly easy to figure out. And then off in the distance, you just see like a slowly swelling pink mountain emerge from the sea and then dip back under as if a whale breached, like a whale made of coral. And
Incredible.
he trusts you to make good use of this item.
Thank you, sir. This is incredible.
He says, "You're very welcome. Now, save all of us and save Hoenn." And he kind of lifts up a fist and he looks at you very sternly and he knows that you will do him right.
We'll do our best, sir. Also returns the fist.
Yeah, perfect. Congratulations. You have the coral
Oh
corral.
yeah.
What is next?
We're just gonna
So
go
how
to Sky
many
Pillar.
more of these unknown vignettes are we gonna do?
They kind of
we-
fucking
we-
slap.
Well, we
They're
picked
kinda
some
crazy.
bangers. To be fair, I don't
Yeah.
like. Part of me's like, I do kind of want to explore them, but I'm also like, man, we got the legendary one and the Corsola wave. I'm like, we can look at a couple of them, but I don't know if we want to just go like bang all out because like not all, like Rich said, he's like, I don't want to disappoint you because not all of them are going to be summon a random legendary on a D12 roll. You know, they still could be bangers. So
Yeah.
It's a perfectly reasonable option if you guys decide you do want to do all of them. I'm not expecting it, but if you make that decision, that's on you. That's totally reasonable. So what's next?
You want to do the other Schmidt and Gimli ones? What else was Schmidt and Gimli?
we have Fortree and Sky Pillar.
Oh.
Yeah. If you guys want to do like sky pillars right there or whatever.
Well, that's why that's why we're going Pacific Log. It's like, well, we're on the way. Like,
Okay, Sky
right.
Pillar time.
Sky Pillar time, I guess.
Very
Sky Pillar
good.
time.
Leading from Pacific Log, since it seems to be so close, Schmidt references the Draconid scroll that he was given along with his cape and the other things that the Draconids bestowed upon him, along with the title of Lorekeeper. Flying over the sea for some time, the clouds begin to part and he sees like this ancient-looking tower that goes impossibly high into the sky. It seems that there previously had been no doors, perhaps, but there is a gaping hole at the base. The clouds part just in, like you can't even see the top of the tower because above more towards the atmosphere, you can't even see the top of the tower. Schmidt, I will say, if you are riding on Patricia or Diana, it is up to you if you want to enter the tower or try and brave the potentially fierce winds and fly right to the top.
You down for a little dungeon crawl?
Absolutely. That's why I'm here.
We'll go at the bottom.
Okay. You enter through the bottom of this ancestral place. Whether or not you are particularly keen on, sentimentality for things that were built by ancient peoples for divine purposes, etc., whether you're religious or not, this certainly has an air of majesty to it. It feels kind of very formal, very almost alien. It's similar to Meteor Falls, but it feels even older. You enter into this hallowed monument, and you see that it is adorned with the same kinds of artwork and etchings and perhaps language that you saw at Meteor Falls and even in parts of a Granite Cave in Dewford Town. If someone wants to make a religion or investigation check, or both even, I could let you both do that.
Yeah, I'll roll for it.
Are you
18?
proficient in religion? Okay.
No.
Gimli's carrying.
Okay.
Rolled a
I rolled a 19, and
Yeah.
-1 gives me an 18.
That's fine. Yeah, you can interpret these murals to understand that this is kind of telling the same repeat fable that you've seen told back at Meteor Falls as well as Granite Cave. The legendary Pokemon of Hoenn tend to be calamitous, in a sense. They slumber for a very long time, and then they come forth and cause chaos and destruction. You would presume, based on your 18, that the denizen of whatever deity resides in this tower is somewhat responsible for maintaining balance and order to the Hoenn region. All the artwork shows a beautiful serpentine emerald green colored creature coming and dissuading the combat between Kyogre and another fearsome looking legendary Pokemon depicted in the mural. You see a flight of stairs, and you assume by looking directly up that you're going to be climbing many, many, many stairs. Do you begin to take the stairs?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You do so. Immediately after arriving on the first floor that is not the ground floor, you hear and see lots and lots of resident Pokemon You are familiar with a Pokemon that is a little impish, a little looking fairy creature that seems somewhat metallic. It has a giant jaw on the back of its head, and it regards you with its forward, smaller face. There is a floating Pokemon that seems to resemble a top, but it also looks very alien, has many sets of eyes across its body. It's a Claydol, one that you've battled at Tate and Liza's gym. Additionally, there are various ghost-type Pokemon scurrying about. One in particular is small and bipedal and has gems in its eyes. They regard you with caution. I need Schmidt particularly to make a charisma check.
That is a 16.
16 is perfect. All of these Pokemon that are standing on little carved out marble ledges or like in desecrated windows or just parts of this tower that just have worn away with time, they all gather around together and they all regard Schmidt, and all of them either kneel or bow in recognition of him. Schmidt's never met these Pokemon before, but these Pokemon know who Schmidt is. You continue to climb the tower.
Yeah.
Okay. You go up a couple more flights of stairs trying to get to the top. You find yourself on a floor that has lots of more of the mural type artwork, but additionally lots of looking artifacts and like gems and urns that could be full of valuables that are perched on little tables. But additionally, it seems that there are traps in this room. Perhaps you see holes in the floor that unsuspecting thieves or people looking to loot this place might have fallen into and seriously hurt or killed themselves falling through. I will need one of you to make a acrobatics dexterity check. You can both roll, but I only count the value of one roll.
Can we just fly over him?
Sure, you can do that as well. Who's your Pokemon for? Is it Patricia?
Yeah, Patricia.
Okay.
And we'll hold on to Patricia's feet so they'll like parachute us over.
Okay. Yeah, that totally works. With your -4 going as a pair, I'm not even going to make you roll for that. Patricia is able to successfully get you over these holes in the floor, and you're able to continue ascending. You get towards the top. You have one more small set of stairs before you get to the absolute height of the sky pillar. You start to feel a little lightheaded because of the altitude. You are very high up in the sky. You see a mysterious pile of bones and skulls in a corner, piled up quite high. Probably a mound that is almost 10 feet tall and is just a dome of just fleshless bones. I'm going to ask for an investigation check.
8 + 5, 13.
13 is enough to know that just based on how this is piled up, it doesn't seem like these bones have been treated with very much reverence, and it's also unusual how many of them there are. A lot of them are quite fresh. Those are the details that you get from your investigation. Before you can see at the very top of the sky pillar, there is kind of a distant howling wind as you are above the cloud cover at this point. You see an elaborate, I guess I'll call it the roof. The roof of the sky pillar has very narrow, short little walls. They're about 3 feet high, just made of stone. They're cracking and broken in a lot of places. And you see a slight little series of stairs, a stairway that's maybe 2 or 3 stairs. The stairs are maybe 30 or so feet wide, very wide berth. And they ascend, and then you see a series of pillars that seem like they would have a flame on them, but they are not currently lit. Additionally, you see a lectern or I'm not sure the best word for it. Easel's not the word. There's a formation of stone that appears to have the right size for there to be a book on it, and instead there seems to be a light blue colored rock placed atop of it. Roll me a perception, both of you.
15.
18.
Okay. Yeah, as you're looking around examining this, you see a hooded character just kind of crouching in the corner among a small pile of bones on the other side of the roof, and you can meet their eyes, Schmidt, and they look at you, and they stand, and they slowly kind of hobble, limp in your direction. It seems that they'll slowly eventually meet you. You'll hear a female voice say, well, the true lore keeper finally decided to show up, huh?
And who might you be?
She will remove her hood, and you see some features that remind you of the Draconid elders. This woman is clearly a Draconid. She is well into adulthood. She is wearing a cloak that seems to be hastily made that somewhat resembles the one that you are wearing. She will introduce you with some emerald green gaze from her eyes, and she says, "My name is Zinnia, and I used to be the rightful lore keeper. Now you have come cousin, to take this right from me. Is that true?
Sure, man. I just kind of got thrown into this.
Yeah, and Gimli's just standing here for what it's worth. She says, "Go on then. Summon Rayquaza. Show me that you're worthy."
You don't have to be
All
so
right.
bitter about it.
Do you
Shit,
attempt
alright.
to do so?
Yeah, I didn't write down the poem.
It's on the scroll that you have.
Schmidt will reach into his bag and pull out the Lore Keeper gem. And he will say, "With jeweled bright and borrowed might, I summon thee, Rayquaza."
Perfect. Give me just advantage charisma on that.
18.
Excellent. As you do so, there's a great flash from the Keeper Gem, one that you only recognize as being familiar as when you first initially received the Keeper Gem and it recognized you, in quotes. The clouds above you begin to part, and a brilliant emerald light shines down from the sky. And within a matter of seconds, an enormous emerald green serpentine dragon descends at blinding speeds and begins to hover right at the top of the sky pillar in front of the little altar pedestal lectern that I described. It coils its body as it floats, and it looks at you cautiously, and then it turns its head and it looks at Zinnia cautiously. And it is looking back and forth at both of you, and then it lets out a mighty roar. It rumbles your body, and as it roars, the two giant torches illuminate on either side of it with an emerald green flame. Zinnia says, "No, it cannot be. It cannot be." It seems that she's been spending some time in isolation, and she's feeling a little crazy. Schmidt, roll an insight.
30-20.
Okay, that's excellent. You can detect from this deity of winds that it is experiencing a conflict. It is regarding both you and Zinnia as perhaps the same quality of person, and it is about to insist as to make some sort of determination. You need to prove your worth somehow versus Zinnia. What do you elect to do?
I need to prove my worth. I don't give a fuck about proving my worth.
Why should I have to prove anything to you? Help me!
Yeah,
Look,
that's-
can I just
You want
get the
world
plate
to
so
die
I
or
can go?
not?
yeah, you can absolutely try to do that.
I don't really care about this family drama. Give me the plate and I'll just get the fuck out of here.
So you just walk up and grab the plate?
Yeah.
Okay. Zinnia will, as you either decide to descend down the stairs or fly down from the top of the tower, she'll say, "So that's just it? You'll just summon Rayquaza and just leave?"
Yeah, fuck you.
Very good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so you do that. Congratulations. You are in possession of the Sky Plate.
Sick.
Who knows what will become of Rayquaza? Maybe he'll go back and take a nap.
Like,
What's
I'm hoping we get a
happened?
repeat of the manga.
he's like, what just happened?
Yeah. He felt some conflict and ended up not making a decision. So he probably goes back up into the sky. Congratulations. If it's not clear, you have the Sky Plate. That is your...
Yeah, we got the sky plate. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, gang.
Who's next?
Who's next?
Do we want to just top down the list that Grace
We can
says?
just go top to bottom so we don't have to make a choice.
Okay.
Yeah, so
The
we'll just do
Gimliality.
Gimliality Route 120. Yeah.
Perfect. Between
Yep.
running around Hoenn and contacting the citizens and, acquiring these boons to help you in your final mission, TMF, Tiberius Matthias Ferrisheart, will approach Gimli and specifically make a request. He will say, "I think that I can be of great service to you in your final encounter with Neo Rocket Galactic. However, I might need your help for a mission before then. Would you please join me to Route 120?
Absolutely.
Excellent. And, of course, you can bring Elodie as well, which I'm assuming that you do.
Woohoo.
Woohoo.
TMF guides you through this tropical rainforest route that you haven't been on in many weeks. This is the route where you found Toidle, and it was not a tropical rainforest. You arrive, and it's like midday, and it's raining. It's very humid and damp. He guides you through some lush foliage, like almost jungle at this point, to arrive at a ancient ruins, and it seems vaguely familiar. It reminds you of the desert ruins where you first met Roger the Regirock. There is a cave opening to it, and he ushers you both inside. You both follow him.
Absolutely.
Okay. You enter the tomb, and what do you find? It is similar to the desert ruins. There's a lot of graffiti. Some youngsters are coming in here, and they're desecrating ancient landmarks for clout, to be cool to their friends. Among all of this, there is a marking at the far end of the chamber, very similar to what you saw in the desert ruins. TMF will bring you both over to it, and he says, I cannot decipher this, but solving this ancient text is going to be critical for me assisting you in Evergrande City. It seems that there are 3 characters represented, and if you make some rolls, either religion or investigation, maybe you can determine some or all of the letters that they're supposed to represent.
I'll roll an investigation.
Very good.
As you should, as I am terrible at both those things. Let's see.
You can still feel free to.
had religion from being
No,
a
why?
civilian.
No,
I thought
no
that too.
No, you
Yeah.
always think that. I don't
Yeah.
have religion. Rich brings up religion prompts all the time, and I'm like, I don't have proficiency in religion. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know where this came from.
That's funny. I thought you did. Oh, well.
Or I think you just gave him advantage a couple times
Yeah.
because Sinnoh's religious.
Yeah, that could have been it.
I got a 15.
Okay. Analyzing the text, and with Elodie's familiarity of just like the Draconid stuff and like the desert ruins, she's able to kind of deduce that the first letter in your language would probably be a D, and the third letter would probably be a G. TMF looks stumped. He doesn't know what to do.
Gimli, I think you know what to do.
What do I do?
Did
Do
you
I have to
catch?
dig?
I think so.
Okay. I
Well-
guess I start digging, huh?
Are you gonna grab your pickaxe and dig?
Oh yeah, I got my pickaxe, I got my shovel. Like, we're
Yeah.
good.
Perfect. You start swinging. TMF notices like, oh, seems like they must have cracked it. Elodie, do you assist in the digging as well?
I will assign grape juice to assist in the digging.
Okay, perfect.
Great juice, take this shovel.
He loves it. He loves shovels.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
New cannon. That's awesome. Yeah. After only a couple minutes of digging, there's kind of a deep clunking sound in the chamber, and the floor kind of gives way to yet again another somewhat sand slide effect. And you're all gonna fall down it unless you try and make a dex save to resist. But it seems like TMF is willingly jumping down the sand slide.
Yep.
Does anyone else do that? You all do it?
Going in.
Mhm.
Okay. You arrive at the bottom of the slide, and you find yourself once again in kind of like a dimly lit chamber. And once again, there's like a pile of bones, of human bones, like in the corner. And TMF holds out his arms and he says, we should not move any further. We risk time dilation, and time is of the essence. We must wait for our emissary to arrive. And almost like right on cue as he says that, a mysterious figure emerges from the shadows to the left. It is a bipedal, blue, wolf-like looking Pokemon that has parts of its bones like sticking out from its palms and its chest. It seems like it's a capable fighter, and it comes up to TMF and you, Gimli, and Elodie, and gives somewhat of a knowing nod. Do you say or do anything regarding this Lucario, who has appeared out of the void to greet you as you entered this tomb?
Is this our guy?
TMF says, yes, this is an emissary from Iron Island, and it seems that this emissary will be granting us some sort of gift. Gimli, roll a, I don't know, roll a fucking advantage.
You want me to roll religion, bud?
No, not religion. I just want you to say something to Lucario. Just something. Anything. Doesn't really matter.
Emissary of the I greatly respect the Iron Island, so we appreciate your support in helping defend this planet.
Perfect. Yeah, roll me an advantage charisma and get a higher than a 6.
Yeah, I got 18.
Okay, perfect. Lucario senses your sincerity, understands that you are from Sinnoh, and you do sincerely respect Iron Island. That in a sense, they are Sinnoh's original miners, as they built their whole civilization around the iron deposits that are present around Conolave City. Lucario's eyes glow blue as it interfaces with your mind and learns your secrets and your history and the mission that you're on, and then will smash his hands together and like release them, and a tumbling of iron plates looking like armor just descend from between the ore in its hands. TMF will kneel down and pick up a piece of metal, and he says, oh, the finest of Iron Island metal. This seems that this is shaped in a peculiar way, and Gimli, you will notice that this metal that Lucario has forged for you while in the tombs is specifically a set of armor that is made for a Gigalith. You have unlocked unique armor that, when worn, negates weaknesses specific to the rock typing when receiving damage from attacks that make contact. It
Holy fuck.
does work as a held
No.
item, but it is armor for Gigalith. Additionally, Lucario will kind of interface with TMF, and it will give him like a chunk of what like looks to be an artificially made plate. Like, it's not quite the same. It looks like it was like it's not the iron plate, but it has an essence of it, which grants him some sort of battery, just a limited effect for his Registeel. And as such, TMF will be allowed to have his Registeel assist you in the final battle. What TMS Registeel does, as a summon action, Registeel fires a flash cannon that explodes in a 30-foot circle. Enemies that are hit suffer disadvantage on saving throws until the user's next turn in initiative. So for a full round, a 30-foot circle, enemies hit will have disadvantage on all saving throws.
Crazy info that he has a Registeel, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, he has a
Registeel.
Oh, okay.
That's been revealed.
Yeah, we've discussed this. Yeah.
I've never.
I
Says,
forgot.
no, they asked about the other Reggies.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
True,
and he
yeah.
also explained that like Registeel is limited power because it doesn't have the plate.
because no beat boop plate. Yeah.
That's funny that it sounded that you guys forgot because that's not
It's
supposed
the
to.
I was
two
Be.
of
like,
us that forgot.
I was like, Registeel just fire a flash cannon. I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah,
He just didn't do anything during that like
Homie's just
session-long
chilling.
combat.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, very cool though.
So those are your 2 boons from the ruins. Way to go.
Damn, I gotta check the stats of this armor because if it's it would suck if it's not better than leftovers.
It may not be. It's really just up to you how you want to use it.
But it's so cool.
Yeah, you're welcome to use it for flavor and not use the effect if you want. But I would probably I'll think about it. I'll try and come up with some sort of compromise. What's next?
I'm back at it again with Fortree.
Okay, and is Schmidt there as well?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good. Gimli meets back up with Schmidt after investigating the ancient ruins on Route 120, and they decide to pay a visit to Fortree City, a place that they have not been in quite some time. It's the location of where they received their first badge. It is roughly the location where Cindy got the Atlas Stone, and it's also a location that Schmidt remembers that he promised he would pay a visit to the gym leader after some time. Standing outside of the gym, kind of interacting with various wild bird Pokemon, Swablu, Tailo, and Not2, is gym leader Winona. She doesn't notice you, Schmidt. Schmidt, do you approach her and say anything?
Yeah, Schmidt will just like kind of shyly walk up and be like, "Hey, long time no see."
Very good. Roll a charisma.
How do I find myself in these situations all the time?
Well, this one was all you, not
Yeah,
this particular one.
This is the action of my
I
consequences.
can't believe I found myself in this situation.
It's 11 on the charisma.
That's fine enough because we have Gimli, specifically because you have Gimli with you. Very good. Winona will say, "Oh, Schmidt, it's been a while. Haven't seen you since the challenge of the gym. How have you been?"
You know, we've been on a journey. And he kind of like nods to his arm.
Winona her eyes will get big and she'll say, "Ooh, is that made of Skarmory feather?"
Yeah, you know, not many people notice that. I really appreciate that you noticed that.
She goes to like inspect it and touch it. Do you let her do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Schmidt's like blushing while she does it too.
Yeah. She gets like a little familiarly close. And she says, "Well, I've been seeing you and your friends on the news, and it seems like you've been doing a lot for the Hoenn region. And tell you what, I know we were talking about a date when you first challenged the gym. I don't have a lot of time right now, but since you were so kind to pay me a visit, I think I can help you out in your final battle." She doesn't know it's your final battle. in your next challenge. What do you say?
Yeah. It's not a date then. I'll give her finger guns.
She says, "Not a date yet," and gives you a wink.
Ooh.
You get Winona's wings. As a summon action, Winona and her gym trainers use their flying type Pokemon to rhythmically flap their wings in unison to aid the Packo. Each Packo member and their Pokemon gain double movement speed until the end of their next turn. Additionally, Winona returns to her gym. She gives Schmidt a little wink. She's still expecting to meet up after Schmidt saves the world. But who does the Packo see? Exiting from a house, wielding binoculars and lots of adventure gear, it's 3 familiar-looking NPCs that they haven't seen in a long time. Their names are Chris, Josh, and Raven. It is, in fact, the Shiny Gang, and they are accompanied by a new, very large-looking Toad Pokemon that is a slightly unique shade of green. They recognize Gimli and Schmidt, and they run on over as fast as they can. They're out of breath. They go, We saw you. We know what you've been up to. You've gotten so strong and so powerful." Raven says, "Yeah, sometimes we see your Pokemon on the news and we get the magnifying glass and we look for shinies and we think we've only found one." Josh will say, "Please tell me, yeah, you just have one shiny, right? Just one? That's all we could find."
I think it is still just grape juice, right? We didn't get any more shinies.
Yeah, technically no. Like we had the regional modified ones, but like nothing shiny.
Yeah, we haven't got a. We've run into a couple of other shinies.
Yeah, we just haven't gotten them.
Yeah, Schmidt will tell them about like the pink Sharpedo that nearly destroyed their boat that they were on.
Oh, cool. You remembered one. Yeah. Roll a charisma for performance with advantage.
Thank God for advantage because I rolled a 4. That'd be a 17.
Yeah. Well, because you specifically remembered one of the few shinies that you've encountered, that's pretty good. I'll give you advantage for that. They are enamored with your story. You tell it in a way that's very endearing, and they say, wow, that's some exclusive knowledge. They didn't talk about that on the TV. And Donut also seems quite elated. Donut, the shiny Venusaur. They say, well, we've been collecting a lot of shinies, and we can't wait to show you, but we know that you're busy, so maybe the next time that you're having a difficult combat, you could just take this, and Chris will hand you a very reflective piece of metal. It's just a little square of metal. And he says, just shine this up at the sky when the sun is out, and we'll come and we'll show you our shinies, okay? So the shiny gang, as a summon action, all of them and Venusaur will show off their shinies. You can choose a 30-foot circle on the battle map and cause all enemies inside to be blinded until the user's next turn. Additionally, Donut will give a donut to each of the Packo that you can use.
Holy top tier summon. Forget the legendaries. Forget the Corsola wave. We get donuts on the final battle. We're cooking.
There you go.
I'm
Congratulations.
so confused. They're just going to show up and be like, whoa, there's a lot happening here, but you did call us. So we're going to show you what we got here.
You did call us. The end of the world is nigh.
We did tell you we'd show up. And I know it's the end times, but do you want to see my collection?
Yeah. Listen, you've met shiny hunters in real life. Like they love their
like
stuff. Yeah. So they will show you all of their shinies without question. Congratulations.
Cool. That was a twofer.
That was a twofer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'd said it would be a twofer, wouldn't we?
It's on the list
Yeah.
as two.
It
should
does
be.
say,
On the
it
list
does say
as
it's
a
a
twofer.
twofer.
Yep. Very good. What's next?
Gochi and Asai.
Yay.
Yep.
It's me again.
Yeah.
I gotta get a break. I just looked
Two.
through this
You
and like,
just-
damn, I am.
I looked
I'm a
through it and
world
I'm like,
traveler,
damn,
bro.
Gimli just did 4 in a row.
World
And Gimli's
traveler.
got 2 more, and then
After some running around, doing a little bit of adventuring, touching base with allies, Cindy and Schmidt decide it is time to just revisit the stronghold. They haven't been there in a few days. The last time they were there, some NRG grunts decided to pretend to be teenagers and tried to, steal their Pokemon. So it's probably a good time just to check in, see what's going on. Cindy and Schmidt arrive at the berry farm, and they see Pumpkin leading and coordinating all the little grass-type Pokemon and non-grass-type, the birds and the normal types that also reside on the farm, just doing farm work. It seems like that, without Cindy and without Goji and Asai, her grandparents, this is still a pretty sustainable operation. There may even still be sales happening. Pumpkin senses Cindy's presence and gets very excited, lets out a classic Victory Bell scream, and hops over to Cindy. Cindy, what do you say / do for Pumpkin?
if I can, because I am not very big, but pick up Pumpkin and spin around.
Yeah, roll, make
Vibes.
a strength or dex just to see how far you can pick up Pumpkin. Also, how heavy is Victory Bell? I'm gonna look
I don't
that
know. I rolled a 2 on the die.
up. Okay, you're probably not going to pick them up, but just
My strength
for,
is -1.
just for our
so.
knowledge, we will see that Victory Bell weighs only 35 pounds, actually, not that heavy. So yeah, you can pick up Victory Bell a little bit, do a little spin. Schmidt, are you trying to do something?
No.
Okay.
I just think it'd be fun flavor. In the anime when James had a Victory Bell and it
Oh,
kept
yeah.
trying to eat him, but lovingly.
Yeah,
I just think it'd be funny if that happened.
that could happen. Would you permit that, Cindy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
After being lifted up, Victory Bell Pumpkin will shake their head like, that's not how you do it, and then just jump and place their mouth over Cindy's body and just scream. They will be holding back their digestive acids so as to not hurt you, but they're basically giving you a hug with their giant mouth, which is their whole body. And you're inside a plant, which feels kind of weird, but also maybe not super foreign, because maybe this is just something that Victory Bell likes to do. Eventually, Victory Bell will let you out and look at you affectionately, and you will see all the kind of farmhand Pokemon taking a break and running over and saying hello to you all. You recognize Oddish and Talo and Pidgey and Seedot and all sorts of grass and normal type Pokemon have come and just are greeting you. Cindy, roll a charisma, please.
Oh, a 19 on the die plus 3 is a dirty 22.
Oh, that's incredibly good. Yeah. Victory Bell Pumpkin will look at you with kind of a knowing gaze and pluck a particular, like, really delicate-looking seed from under its leaves and hand it to you. It's giving you a mechanism to summon the Farmhand Revolution. As a summon action, Pumpkin, the Victory Bell, and the other tenants of the Berrymaster Farm assist in the final battle. They release sleep-inducing spores in a 30-foot circle, subjecting all creatures within to a DC 14 con save to fall asleep. Congratulations.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else at the berry farm?
Just flavor. If you want to check on stuff, maybe see if berries have truly been sold, whatever you want, but no pressing, urgent things are happening.
Can I collect some berries?
Sure, you're more than welcome to. Roll me like an advantaged survival, probably.
So with plus 10, that's a dirty 23 to my better roll.
Sure. Yeah, roll a d12.
9.
Cool. We're going to give you 11 berries. We're going to just going to keep it easy. We're going to give you 3 lum, 3 citrus, 3 ayapapa, and 2 pitaya. They're all consumable held items, or you could use them manually. Lum cures any status condition. Citrus restores a certain amount of HP that I'll have to calculate. Ayapapa restores more HP, but if a held item, it procs at a lower HP value. And pitaya, not 3, 2 pitaya. Pitaya, when you hit below a certain threshold of HP, you get a damage boost. Very good. The next one is Lava Ridge Town.
Lava Ridge.
Cindy and Gimli. Very good. The Packo will reunite, and Cindy and Gimli will decide to pay a visit to Lava Ridge Town, the home of the Fire-type gym, as well as the city that they protected during the volcanic eruption of Mount Chimney. Gimli, you immediately notice as you enter the town that not only have they memorialized and made permanent the walls that you had constructed of stone to protect the town from the calamity that was the Mount Chimney eruption, they've also erected a statue of you, Gimli. They've made a stone sculpture of Gimli and a Boldor, being Trevor when he was still small, in honor of your efforts saving the town. It was not just you, of course, it was the whole Packo, but they were particularly impressed with your walls. And now Lava Ridge Town will forever have walls. And this inspires you in such a way that you get Stonecraft Legacy. As a summon action, choose one Pokemon. Upon falling to 0 HP, the selected Pokemon will immediately regain 50% HP. The effect lasts until it is consumed.
Let's go.
Additionally, speaking of gym leaders like we did with Nona, Connor, the replacement for Flannery, the gym leader that you all challenged and defeated, is standing outside the springs talking to some old ladies who are having a soak in the hot springs, and he's talking with them in a way that like he's almost like flirting with them, and they are blushing and it's like so delighted by his charisma. He's just a really likable guy. He spins around. He's got his Blaziken with him, Turbo, and he'll say, "Oh, Cindy, you came back. Are you already ready to be a gym trainer?"
Quite yet.
Not quite yet. You have more to do. I've been seeing you on the news. Seems like you've been quite busy.
Yeah, we're just trying to save the world, normal shit.
Oh, so it's not like you're like too good for me now, is it?
No, I'll still come back, assuming we save the world. If there's no world and we don't save it, yikes.
Roll a charisma, please.
10.
Okay. Connor will say, well, if there is a world, do you promise you'd still come back and see if you want to be a gym trainer?
Yes.
He says, well, maybe I can help you out then. If you will keep that promise, me and my gym trainers, whatever challenge you got coming up, just throw this smoke bomb as far as you can, and we'll come right over. And he gives you a smoke bomb. Do you collect it?
Yeah.
Okay. You may now summon Connor's Raging Blaze. As a summon action, Connor and his gym trainers call forth their Pokemon to summon a 40-foot wide, 30-foot tall wall of fire that lasts 3 rounds. Any Pokemon that end their turn in the fire take 60-10 fire damage. Any Pokemon that move through the fire on their turn must make a DC 10 con save or become burned.
Fun.
Very good. What's next for the gang?
All Arbor Town.
Elodie and Gimli, you both ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. You arrive in Fall Arbor Town. You have some fond memories of it being where you had to challenge Watson after Mauville was under reconstruction from the terrorist attack. Additionally, it was the first time you went to Mr. Mimosa's. It was also where you met Archie and Maxi for the first time. You haven't seen Archie and Maxi since Moss Deep City, and you know where they live. You remember where their home is with the fence-off area where Numel likes to hang around. And part of you is thinking that you might want to go check on them. Do you pay them a visit?
Of course.
Of course. You knock on the door, and a quiet shuffle greets you, and it is Maxi in kind of his more comfortable, kind of non-going-out clothes, kind of like a Sunday morning vibe. He has a cup of tea, and he says, "Oh, Elodie Gimli, great to see you. Please come in." Did you enter?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. The first thing you see as you enter into the living room, sprawled out on the couch with all sorts of like scrapped food wrappers and bags and just like wet towels and things, is like a very beat up looking Archie. Seems that he's in a full recovery after trying to wrestle the fish. He's all bruised up and he's like in a bad state. There's like a sling propping his leg up. He's just on the couch and there's cartoons playing on the TV. You can tell that if he were able to get up and hug you, he totally would. And he says, "Oh, it's so good to see both of you. Elodie Gimli, did you see me wrestle that fish?"
Oh yeah.
We sure did, pal.
It was very cool.
He says, "Oh, I was so close, I almost had it, but I think it was probably better that you guys were there because look at me now." And Maxi will say, "Yes, Archie got a little carried away, and we are very grateful that you were able to quell the monster once again. Clearly grumpy after not getting another 1,000 years rest, but we couldn't have done it without you, so thank you." And Archie will say, "Yeah, you all kicked ass." And it seems like his exertion as he speaks is kind of hurting him because he is broken all over. Archie and Maxi, they'll just suggest to you that they're very grateful for all that you've done and that they would like to help you in your final encounter. So very simply, without making any rolls, because this one was going to be easy anyways, you get Wrath of the Uncles. Very simply, you will get Archie and Maxi in initiative. They will use Sharpedo and Camerout.
Yo, gay wrath.
Gay Wrath. I didn't even think about that. They're very happy to see you, and they request that you give best wishes to Cindy and Schmidt as well.
Of course, we will do that.
Of course.
Very good. Elodie and Gimli, perhaps known in the Packo for being the most likely to consume libations. I think that might be superlatives for them. And they're both feeling a little thirsty. They're both feeling like perhaps they should pay a visit to Mr. Mimosas. Do they decide that they want to do such a thing?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Perfect. They'll get some mimosas and tell you what, the Mr. Mimes, they're doing it's like a super happy hour. These things are so cheap. And in fact, Elodie, roll a charisma.
Absolutely. Oh, goodness me. I'm going to have to do math. 27?
Jeez. Yeah, I guess you're level 13. Even one of the mimes does very elaborate miming with their dexterous fingers and conveys to the other mimes that you guys are the heroes of the Hoenn region. And it seems like they're having some sort of a mimosa drinking competition, and whoever wins gets a special prize. Will you guys participate?
Oh, absolutely. Without question.
Okay. I will need you both to roll me con saves, please.
No problem. 18.
Okay, Elodie.
Oh, man. 17?
Wow. This was a high check, but you guys did great. You guys drink your butts off. You down so many mimosas. They're so impressed. They don't even charge you for them. And they are delighted to such an extent. One of the mimes gives you a very curious, almost fushigi-looking little mirror ball. Not a disco ball, but like a very reflective ball. And it seems that this can allow you to produce Mr. Mimosa's drunk tank. As a summon action, the faithful employees of Fall Arbor's Mr. Mimosas come to aid. You can choose one creature. The Mr. Mimes will trap that creature in a barrier box, making them incapacitated but also invulnerable until the user's next turn. So you won't be able to deal damage to what you target, but it'll just be gone for a round. So use it wisely.
Sick. Put it in a box.
Oh, very good. Congratulations. What's next?
Meteor Falls.
Meteor Falls.
Meteor Falls, baby.
We got Schmidt and Cindy going to Meteor Falls.
Yep.
Okay. It's been a while since y'all have been to Meteor Falls. The last time you were there, not a good time. It was rough. There was the whole Deoxys situation. Schmidt, with his knowledge of how the mountain is structured, and because you have powerful flying types, I'll allow you to not go through the dungeon. You can just fly around to the back where the mountain resides in the wall, and you can enter through there. Schmidt re-encounters his family. They are so happy to see him. They all embrace him, and Walker especially will say, "It's really good to see you, Schmidt. I hope you've been well. That injury was tough, but I hope that arm's been working out for you."
Yes, it's bailed me out of a couple situations. Thank you.
He says, I know you're doing a lot, and I'm worried about you still getting hurt. So if you end up in another tricky spot, just know that the other elders and we've got your back, all right?
All right.
And he will firstly give you, for free, he will hand over to you a peculiar-looking horn, like a musical instrument type horn. No, like keys like a trumpet or anything, but just seems like it's made out of a piece of bone. He says, do you remember that demonstration when you first arrived and all of us elders, we all challenged the mountain?
Yeah.
He says, well, this is the tool that we use to control the mountain, and we'd like you to have it just in case you need it in the future. So
holy shit.
he gives you a fracture tusk that has been carved into a horn that you can blow into. As a summon action, you can call forth the giant Tyranitar known as the Mountain to your aid. It will remain for 3 turns.
Holy shit.
A fucking mountain.
The walker will then say, well, we're glad you're here because we've encountered an unusual situation with Deoxys. Would you come take a look?
Yeah.
He guides you over to the center of town where there's a clearly distinct crater. All the buildings and stuff have been mostly rebuilt out of the stone from the mountain. There's a few people here, definitely not as busy as the Millennium Festival, but like there's life, there's liveliness. It's not just the elders. There's a few other people who have like staying around, adventurers who are checking it out. But Deoxys is in the bubble that was made by Tomatomo Zoltaria, and it is fully reformed. It is like sitting, like as if its knees are perched up and its tentacles are wrapped around, as if it looks bored. And Walker says, now this is a difficult decision, but the elders and I have been working on something. And he pulls out like a mysterious looking homemade Pokeball of a sort. He says, I'm not sure if it's the right thing to keep Deoxys here like this. I think we might be in less danger if we were to let Deoxys back into space. It's not going to challenge us if the Keeper Gem doesn't flash again. That being said, to remove the bubble, we're going to have to attack it. And we've created this ball to try and potentially contain it. The elders and I have discussed, and we think it's the best decision for us to capture it in this ball and then eventually return it to space. Would you help us in that process?
Yep.
Walker says, very well. If you would both help me destroy this barrier that Tomatoma set up. And he will send out his Skarmory. Do you send out Quacko and Soli?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all will bash on the shield over and over and over again as it gradually it has like 1,000 HP more or less. It gradually deteriorates, and Deoxys lifts its head up and kind of looks around curiously and begins to stand. Schmidt, you've been given a mysterious Pokeball. You were going to need to throw it. Please make me a dex save, or dex check, and add proficiency to it as well.
+3, that's a 10.
Okay.
I rolled a 2.
Oh, man. Okay. You'll throw the ball, and Deoxys will swat it back at you. And it begins to rise, and it seems that it's beginning to charge a laser. Walker says, oh no, did we not build the ball properly? Schmidt, you have to try again. It seems that if you do not catch it here, you may have to deal with a laser beam. So please roll this mysterious Deoxys ball yet again.
Okay. That's a lot better. Dirty 23.
Okay, that will do it. That will do it. A little scary, but poof. Schmidt will throw this fully emerald-colored Pokeball, and it will capture Deoxys in a mysterious green light. And it doesn't shake or wiggle or anything. It seems like it's designed specifically to trap Deoxys. Walker, your grandfather, will say, thank you for your help on this. It's just a great relief just not seeing that creature here anymore. We think it's best for the balance of the world if it returns to space. Until then, it's up to you and what you want to do with it. And you have access to an optional summon, that is Deoxys Devastation. As a summon action, unleash Deoxys into the fray for 3 rounds. Deoxys can fire 4 beams per round, dealing 8d12 plus 12 psychic damage per hit. It's up to you if you want to risk it.
I'm guessing that's like not controlled.
No, it's not.
It's just random. Okay.
It will be full random.
We'll build ourselves a bunker and just fucking let them loose.
Hey man, I've got my Cabbage Shield.
Yeah. It's
Could
an option.
happen.
Last but not least, Walker will address both of you and ask if you have reached out / been in touch / know about the state of the Winstraight family, because they are concerned about that situation. You can either RP it, or you can just say that you tell them everything you know about Vince Winstraight and the unfortunate situation that was the loss of his life at the first Deoxys attack.
Yeah, we'll just tell them.
Okay.
You don't have to RP it.
Yeah.
He'll even show off pride.
Oh, perfect. That's what
The
I was
Dragonite
looking
thing.
for.
Yeah. Mhm.
I was hoping that you would do that. Walker says that is incredibly good of you. You will note how well trained Pride seems to be. He's seen quite a few Dragonite in his day, and this one seems particularly powerful. The remaining elders, will gather, and they will grant upon you a small chunk of Meteor from the meteor that brought Deoxys and caused the devastation. This you can use on the battlefield, and it will summon the Draconids to call upon their Pokemon to barrage the battlefield with enhanced Draco Meteors. Choose a 30-foot circle, subjecting all creatures within to automatic 150 dragon damage. No save, just 150 damage.
Holy shit.
And Walker will, and the elders will embrace you and have cordial greetings for Cindy, and that will be it. Congratulations. What is next?
Edelberg. Okay.
You guys
Bowling
down?
time.
Bowling time.
Okay. The Quacko regroups, and this time Cindy and Gimli, I think for the first time, they haven't done any of these together yet, decided to just check out Petalburg. They had a great time bowling there, and they just figured they should just see what's going on. Just give it a whirl. The bowling alley seems to be having some sort of event. Do you go to check it out?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
As expected, the same clerk teenager from before, Timothy, is working the shoe counter. He says, "Oh, hello, Cindy. I didn't think I would see you again." And he looks a little like shy and embarrassed.
Sorry, I've been a little busy.
Timothy says, "Yeah, that's true. Anyway, do you want to do some bowling?"
Sure.
Timothy says, "Okay, it's just you just do one lane, and if you get a strike, then you get a special prize." And Timothy is clearly being quite awkward. Do you both decide to do one bowl?
Absolutely.
Okay. We'll just do D20s. We can do athletics, or you can make it dex if you want. Gimli will have advantage because of his background, and just give me a roll. The need to get a strike is less because you are together. And you're also both trying as well, so the DC is reduced, and you have 2 tries. So I'm looking for just a DC 16. That is all.
I have a dirty 20.
Perfect. Gimli grabs the ball. This one happens to be colored like a Voltorb, or maybe just a Pokeball, but it has angry eyes on it, so it's like a Voltorb. Throws it down the lane. The Latios and Latios pins go everywhere. It's the cleanest bowl that anyone in this event has ever seen. And Timothy is really impressed. Just for fun, just for flavor, Cindy, what did you roll?
It's a 3 on the die.
Okay, not very good.
Straight into the gutter.
Yeah, it seems that
Straight
Cindy
into the gutter.
would benefit from bumpers for sure. But Gimli's got it. So between Gimli's prowess with the bowling ball and the fact that Timothy is Cindy's age and has a crush on her, he will say, "Okay, well, you win the special Greasy Timothy prize, and you have access to all greased up." As a summon action, Greasy Timothy and his Sliggoo will support the Packo in their final battle. Choose up to 10 squares on the battlefield to become permanently greasy. Any Pokemon on the square at the time it is greased will lose half of its movement speed and become weak to fire until the end of the user's next turn. If a grounded creature enters a greasy square, they must pass a DC 12 dex save or become prone. Just grease up the battlefield.
That's fucking insane.
That's
He's got
so
a
funny.
Sliggoo?
That's actually so funny.
Yeah,
I like how he knows that that's his reputation.
he's got a little Sliggoo. It's a collar
slicked him,
Sliggoo.
dude.
And he's all
Can
greasy.
I send out my Gudra cookie?
Yeah, just have them interface.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll a charisma for Cookie.
Come on, Cookie. Be cool. Be cool. What is Cookie's charisma? Not good. That's a 6.
Okay. It's enough because they're the same species. More than anything, Greasy Timothy Sliggoo is more just entranced with the fact that Cookie seems so different. It's like, why am I not that kind of Sliggoo? I am from Hoenn, but Greasy Timothy's Goomy did not experience the ritual at Fiery Path to become the Hoennian Sliggoo, so it is observing with fondness. Greasy Timothy says, "Well, when you're all done saving the world and stuff, maybe you can come do some bowling."
Yeah, I definitely need to work on my bowling game.
Timothy says, "Well, I could show you how to do a good throw." He's all greasy, dude. His hair's all slicked back. After
That's all natural too. No
it
product.
is. Oh yeah, no, he actually doesn't use product like at all. He might use some
He doesn't need
Sliggoo,
to.
but
You might shower occasionally.
like on accident. He's like, "How did I get in here?" But congratulations,
He just falls into the tub. Like,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
all greased up. You did it. Way to go.
This is a good summon.
Wait, do you think his mom just leaves like a bath on when he gets home and banks on him slipping on his own grease into the tub?
Could be.
Pretty good. That's mom's intuition right there.
Melissa's not having it. She's having a tough time.
This is your love interest. It's pretty cool.
No.
You guys are kind of meant to be. Like, the Gudra Sliggoo thing, like, it's kind of
Yeah.
adorable.
He's the grease to your fire, hon.
Oh,
Yeah.
Grease Fire, that's the couple name.
Oh, Grease Fire's a ship name!
Ship it right
Send
now.
it! Send it!
Send
Oh
it.
my gosh.
God, grease fire is so good.
Well, we only have 2 more on your list left. Should we just do them?
Do
We
we have
only
2
have
more?
Dewford.
Yeah,
I think it's just Dewford.
Sootopolis.
Oh, we didn't do Sootopolis. You're right.
Don't miss Sootopolis, dog. I gotta know.
We're
I
going.
don't know what's going on with Sootopolis.
Okay, Elodie and Schmidt.
Gotta know.
This is perfect because we just did Cindy and Gimli. They decide that a place they haven't been that they're curious about is Sootopolis. Maybe Schmidt partially because like how it might be tied in with like the history of the Draconids and stuff, or maybe not. Maybe just because he wants to go. Elodie because she heard a rumor that there's something significant about Sootopolis that relates back to her home country of Kalos. They will fly in, or I guess I'll ask, do you fly or do you dive to enter? You have to pick one or the other.
I think we fly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we fly.
Okay. You'll fly
Unless
in.
you have like
on-
a deep set need to dive.
It's,
No,
it's
we can
just for
fly.
flavor. Do you both fly on your own Altaria?
I think that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you'll fly down, you'll enter, and you'll see it's quite a quaint, unique town. It is truly just a crater, just like it's an impact of a meteor from ages past, and there are houses built along inside the walls. It gives you similar vibes as like the Meteor Falls Draconid Village, in the sense like they're making use of the environment that was caused by a meteoric impact. Hoenn gets a lot of these for some reason. And what particularly calls out to Elodie is there's a really well-dressed looking guy standing in front of just a brilliant giant tree. And he has this air about him that like gives her kind of Kalos vibes in the sense that like, oh, like he's pretty fashionable and he's got a way about him, and she feels compelled to talk to him. Does she do so?
Yeah, let's chat it up.
This man will see you approach and he'll say, oh, if it's not 2 members of the Quacko Packo, how does it go for you?
I'm feeling pretty good. We're gathering some resources.
He says, yes, I've seen your feats. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wallace. I am the current gym leader of this gym, but me and my friend Hoenn, we often switch up responsibilities quite often, as I am a busy man. What brings you to Sootopolis in particular? What thinks that you might find something of use here?
Well, I'm from Kalos, and I heard that this city might have some connection to it.
Elodie, roll a history or a perception.
I'll do a history. That's a 16.
Pretty good. With Schmidt around, that's all you need. Wallace will say, yes. A few years back, we were given the gift of the great ancient king of Kalos. You must know who he is.
Of course.
Okay, yes. The tall, divine, thousands of years lived King AZ came by, and he gave us this gift, this giant tree. It was just a sapling, but it grew incredibly quickly, and it has sprouted all of these unusual flowers. He picks one up and shows it to you. It looks very familiar. This is the flower, same kind of flower that you were given at the flower shop north of Petalburg. You have one in your bag. Do you produce it?
Yes, I will.
Okay. He will look at it and say, oh, well, that's a unique specimen. Where did you find this?
Flower shop near Petalburg.
And he says, wow, the coloring on it is truly something spectacular. And he hands it back to you. Do you receive it?
Yes.
Okay. As you take it back into your hand, there's a strange glowing from within the tree. Way up on the top branches, there's like a little spotlight that bing, like dings on the flower that you have. And descending from the spotlight is a very unique, strange-looking fairy-type Pokemon. It's vaguely humanoid in shape, but with unusual legs, and it just slowly descends. You get the feeling that this is a fairy type. It is descending from this tree, and it is coming to reach out specifically for your flower. Do you give it to it?
Yes.
Okay. This unique-looking Floette will receive the flower and will be overjoyed. It will float over to Elodie, and it will give her a little kiss on the head, and then it will fly back up into the tree, seemingly to disappear forever. Wallace says, wow, that was an unusual-looking Floette. What do you think about that?
I have a feeling that maybe that was AZ's Floette, or perhaps the spirit of it.
Wallace says, yes, that's very unusual. I've heard legends of a Floette that was in proximity to the ultimate weapon in Kalos' ancient days, and was able to use a phenomenon known as infinity energy to produce an incredible attack. Do you remember what the name of that attack is?
Of the attack itself?
Yeah, just guess. Schmidt knows
what?
it? Say it.
Light of
knows it?
Ruin.
Light of Ruin. Wallace would be like, yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Well, either way, I hope you find what you're looking for. I bid you adieu, and Wallace will begin to depart. Elodie, after perhaps interfacing with Cabbage after it AZ's Floette Smooch, can replace Dazzling Gleam with Light of Ruin. The damage increase will be up to 8d8 plus 8, and will actually deal damage on a pass save, and the range will increase as well. She can also use it to use Light of Respite in Alpha, which can heal instead of deal damage.
Oh, sick.
Holy shit.
It's about time Dazzling Gleam got an upgrade, because not dealing damage on a pass save just sucks.
Yeah.
So, Light of Ruin. Congratulations.
Sick. Oh, I'm so excited.
That's crazy.
Any more stops that you'd like to visit? And in what combinations is also my question.
I think we were talking about Mount Pyre and then maybe doing something else at the same time so we can do pairs? Question mark?
Because I just feel like cost effective wise, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think we decided pairs minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And then
So I think we've got Petalburg Forest, Rustboro, Mauville, and then the
Lily
two
Cove?
routes above. Oh, Lily Cove too. That could be interesting. What do you think? Does anyone have an opinion?
Oh, is it Pablo?
Pablo.
Right there in Lily Cove.
That could be cute.
Don't forget
What
your
do we think, Mount Pyre and
quantities.
Pablo?
Also, there's different
Oh,
quantities
true.
in different locations.
What else is there?
They each have a list of how many things we can get at each location. So let me look. What is Lily Cove? Lily Cove has 2 things. Mount Pyre has 1.
How are we going to split up?
Good question. Who wants to go where? Does anybody have an opinion?
I have none.
Like, I know I was interested to see what happens at Mount Pyre. I don't care if I go. I just want to, be privy to what happens there.
Do you want to do Mount Pyre?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Excellent. Cindy and Elodie will band together and take a quick trip to the southwest of Lily Cove and visit Mount Pyre, a historic Hoennian location, which is the Hoenn equivalent of the Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town in Kanto. It is where many Pokemon of many different walks of life are laid to rest. It is a very holy and revered kind of location. It is more than a mass cemetery. There's a lot of culture surrounding this area, lots of stories and mythos surrounding the ghost-type influence present here at Mount Pyre. Y'all have to, there's no clear entrance. It seems like ferry is the main way that people will get to the entrance on the south side of the mountain. You are more than welcome to also fly or use water-type Pokemon to access the entrance. What is your choice?
You want to fly on my emotional support salamence?
Sure.
Excellent. You do so. You hop on Fane, the emotional support salamence, and he effortlessly glides you over to the entrance of Mount Pyre. You can walk immediately inside a building of some sort, not necessarily a reception area, but there are folks who are tending the graves, and as well as some mourners out and about. They don't pay you much mind. It seems that there is some sort of affair happening up the stairs, some sort of private funeral situation. But there's also a path that leads outside more directly towards the top of the mountain that looks quite interesting. Do you decide to go to the top of the mountain, or do you press forward into the private funeral?
Is there any way to tell who the funeral is for
Sure, you can
from outside?
roll an insight. Or actually,
Sure.
insight or investigation or perception. They can all work.
I'll do an investigation. 18?
18 is quite high. This is a family gathering, grieving a Pokemon of which you don't know the exact species, but you can tell based on the imagery that's present and just your familiarity with this world is that it's some sort of canine Pokemon. Very sad. And they're having some sort of ceremony or ritual for it that seems to be more or less private.
We should probably go up the mountain then.
Yeah, I don't think we know who this is.
Okay. You take this little outdoor path and you are greeted by a dense fog. There are lots of Pokemon that are paying you some attention, but they are not necessarily seeking to engage with you. You see none other than a group of Vulpix, actually, very familiar to Cindy. You see various, what you could imagine to be ghost types as they kind of phase in and out of existence. And you hear the ringing of bells as you look around and you notice Chingling and Chimecho flitting about. This seems to be a place that they enjoy spending their time, and their bells grant kind of a peaceful ambiance to the restful spirit burial area. You make your way up the mountain, and you see at the top there is some sort of altar, some sort of pillar, and there is a figure standing there who is wearing a floral, almost Hawaiian-looking dress, and she seems to be tending to the space. Do you want to go speak with her?
Sure.
Why not? This woman recognizes as you walk up, and she says, well, I'll be, if it isn't Cindy and Elodie from the Quacko Packo. What brings you to Mount Pyre?
I think a while ago,
We made some ghost
were-
friends.
yeah, we made some ghost friends, and they said there was a situation happening over here on Mount Pyre.
Ah, you say ghost friend, and you hear behind you a series of zaps. And coming from the shadows is a Rotom. However, not in the same kind of mechanical form that you witnessed in New Mauville, but in its base kind of spark plug looking form. This woman, who eventually introduces herself as Elite Four Phoebe, will say, oh yes, Rotom here told me all about it. What brings you here? You just want to check in on them?
Yeah, I think so.
Rotom is zipping and zapping around with a big smile on its face, and it seems pretty happy to see the two of you. It is feeling inquisitive about your presence, and I will ask one of you to make a charisma check.
I can do that if
I
you
think your
like.
charisma's higher than mine.
Probably 16.
Excellent. That is high enough with the presence of both of you. Rotom is picking up what you're putting down, remembers that thanks to your efforts, you helped the ghost type Pokemon in a backwards kind of roundabout way, not directly, but you assisted them in their escape from Mount Pyre. You didn't like have them leave New Mauville, where they made their new home temporarily, while Mount Pyre was being ransacked by Team NRG. Rotom goes to the top of the mountain and stands upon the altar, or hovers there, and lets out a electric bolt that shakes all the way down and trickles down towards the bottom of the mountain. And shortly after, you witness just hordes and hordes of shadows emerging from all around you and rising up to circle around Rotom. And there you see a host of different ghost type Pokemon. You witness a Misdreavus, a Dusclops, and a Dusknoir, several Duskull, Gengar, Haunter, Ghastly. All of the commonplace ghost type Pokemon that you are used to seeing have come to circle Rotom and meet your eyes. It seems that Rotom has agreed to help you in your final battle. You gain access to Pyre's Darkness. As a summon action, the remaining denizens of Mount Pyre call forth a shroud of impossible darkness within a selected 30-foot circle. Ally and hostile creatures within are blinded and cannot be targeted by direct attacks and make AoE saves with advantage. Congratulations.
Sick. We got darkness.
Pretty fun. It could be
We got
used
darkness.
offensively and defensively, perhaps. What's next for the Packo?
Where's the other place we wanted to go? Do we have
Lily Cove?
was it-
Yeah, we were suggesting Lily Cove because there's two things there.
Schmidt and Elodie decide it's time to return to Lily Cove City, a place they have not been since they first met. It is a beautiful evening. There are some clouds in the sky, and the sea breeze gives you a sense of salty nostalgia as you breathe it in. The town is definitely a little bit different than when you last saw it. Perhaps it's just the change in season. Less activity compared to the summer festival, of course, but still a reasonably busy city. There are two attractions that kind of catch your eye. One, there is a booth set up outside of the Lily Cove department store with a vaguely familiar human and mouse-like Pokemon creature residing at the booth, trying to sell something. Additionally, I would like a perception check from one of you.
You can do it if you want.
Alrighty. You know how we're famous for this shit, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a 4.
Very good.
Classic Packo.
Yeah. You swear for a second that you see a sign that has a Farfetch'd on it, but it passes out of your vision and you don't exactly recall where it came from. So maybe you go to this booth first and see what's going on there. You arrive outside the Lily Cove City department store, and who do you see? None other than Kay, and he is running Kmart in a more casual way, not the same, summer festival offerings being made. However, him and Pablo the Pichu are there, and they instantly recognize you. Kay makes a comment. He welcomes you first, and then he notes how both of you look like you've changed quite a bit since the last time he saw you, and he asks how you've been doing.
Yo, it's Kay and Pablo.
As a response
We've
to how
been-
you're doing.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've been all right. We've been around. We've met a lot of your cousins. The cousins confirmed? Friends? Enemies? Lovers?
Kay will say, yeah, we've got a large family. I heard a couple stories about my family members meeting some unusual trainers. Could you tell me about your experiences with them, and maybe I can narrow down which ones you were interacting with?
So true. We met one that had oh my god, I can't remember any.
Other players
There's
can pitch in.
Spraymart
Yeah.
with the Palmot, yeah.
Okay.
For
There's
sure.
Graymart.
Oh yeah, the emo one.
Yeah, I forget what he had.
A
I feel like-
Mimikyu?
Mimikyu, that's
It was
right.
Mimikyu,
For sure, yeah.
Did we run into a more Packo one? Did I dream that?
Are you sure it was Gray Mart? Just throwing that out there.
Was it Slaymart?
It was Slay Mart. Yeah.
I was about to call. I was like, did we? I
It
was
was
like,
Slay
we
Mart.
had to have encountered a Slay Mart because that's too good to not have.
There was Braymart.
Okay, go
There's
on.
With the Mudbray. With the Mudbray?
Oh, there was
Question mark?
Fraymart too, where we had to fight.
Oh, true.
And what
Was that the Palmont one?
I think that might have been the Palmot one, yeah.
It was. Kay would like to hear one more story. Can you recall any singular other interaction with an A Mart member?
Oh, the guy with the cowboy hat with the Pikachu.
Play Mart? No.
Was that Braymart?
No, Braymart had the Mudbray.
Did he also have a Pikachu? Was there another one with a Pikachu? I think there was one with a Togedemaru.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember his name though.
It's tricky.
The one with the Dedenne.
Can anyone tell me what Pokemon was present in Fortree City?
That was the second one.
Yes,
I don't think I know.
it is.
Why do I
It's
feel like
been-
it was?
It's
Why do I
been
think it
so
was
long,
Pachira's
dude.
It is Hoenn native. I'll give you a 50-50.
Oh,
okay.
oh shoot! I feel like it was a Minun.
I was about to say I'm feeling a Minun.
The name of the episode where you met it was in fact the Minun, the Witch in the Wardrobe. So it is.
Oh,
in fact
that was the
Minun.
name of the episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, it's called that. That's crazy.
With the adequate amount of stories of like vaguely remembering some of his family and what they were like. Kay says, "Wow, you've come so far. You've really traveled all over Hoenn. I rarely find time myself to travel like that anymore. Listen, I've been seeing you guys, and especially the citizens of Lily Cove have really been talking about you all, and I'd like to offer you and my family's help if you have any more final encounters in saving the world. What do you say?"
That would be so awesome.
You gain access to Kmart. All of the K family unite to help the Quacko Packo in their final battle. As a summon action, choose a total of 9 trainers or creatures to lose all movement speed until the user's next turn in initiative.
Thank you, K family. they just grapple people.
Mhm.
They just show up and hug them. I love that. Oh, I guess maybe it's probably more of a paralysis thing.
It's more
Yeah,
of a
that
paralysis
actually makes more
thing.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
They're just tackling people.
Yeah, the physically tackling people is pretty sick.
There could have been more
Very
flavor, I
visual.
suppose, but yes. Kay will make a little bit of small talk. He'll say, "So did you come to Lily Cove just to see me, or what brought you here?"
Yeah, I mean, I came here just to see you. That's all I really needed.
We had 2 dots on a map that we needed to check out. So
Kay will say, "Well, you probably already know this, but you know that you got a lot of fans here in Lily Cove, right?"
do we?
Oh, really?
I didn't think we had fans at all.
He says, "Yeah, I mean, this is all kind of their central location. If you haven't ever paid them a visit, it might be time to go down to the Quacko Packo fan club."
Yo,
Quacko Packo fan club.
Quacko Packo fan club.
Packo fan club.
And you can see just down the hill, like down the stairs from the Lily Cove department store, you do in fact confirm that the giant Farfetch sign you saw is part of a sign on top of a quaint building. It looks like just a repurposed house, basically, that says QPFC, and it's got a picture of Quacko.
Well,
I'm
we have to
scared,
pay them a
actually.
visit.
I'm-
We have to pay them a visit.
Yeah, but I'm scared.
They'll love us.
Uh-huh.
Right, that's the problem.
Schmidt's remembering the Altaria plushies from the fan children.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
shit, I still have a handful of those. I have 8.
True.
I have 8 of them.
Give them to
Ominously
the fans.
down the hill. What is your decision?
I think we should go.
It could be just Elodie if Schmidt doesn't want to risk it.
Nah, Schmidt will do it.
Okay. You approach this building and you hear the sound of just a whole bunch of hubbub and like discussion and commotion happening inside. If you peeked through the window, you would see like a couple TVs are on. You see people sitting around a table. It seems fairly busy in there. Do you knock on the door or do you just enter?
They're probably busy. We don't need to bother them.
No, we should just go in. Like, I think they'd be happy to see us.
To maybe just like leave a note, be like, hey.
No, you can just go.
I'm just gonna open the door.
Open the door. Elodie enters. What does she see? She sees what is truly like a repurposed house, maybe like a multi-purpose room kind of thought behind it, but it's more or less just like a living room, and perhaps they tore down walls from bedrooms just to make one big expanded space. There's a kitchen as well, and there's a number of people hanging around. You approximate probably about 18 individuals. They look to be of all different backgrounds, all different sources of income, all different ages, a real diverse host of people hanging around doing stuff. You see a table where a child and an old man have coloring pages printed out, and you can see cabbage, like a coloring page, as well as a Fang coloring page. Like really distinctly, these are your Pokemon without a doubt. And there's a bunch of crayons out and they're scribbling and doodling. You see a high table, like a billiards type table. And you see people with little miniature figures and like pieces of paper strewn about and like a map. And they are playing a role-playing game using the characters from the Packo. They're screaming and shouting and having a great time and rolling dice and just truly thriving. There's a corner of 6 or so people on a couch, and they are watching a TV, and they're watching highlights of news captured footage of Packo battles. Schmidt, you see yourself riding on Patricia as they are rewinding and replaying the security footage of your break-in at the Sylph Company building. In fact, as you enter, none of them notice that you two are here because they are all so engrossed in their Packo fandom activities. Do you announce your presence or say anything going on here?
This is so funny. This is literally so meta. I love it. I feel like I'm just in shock. I'm just like, what is going on here?
Schmidt is in fear.
Very good. You can see people's completed art hanging up on the walls, various Pokemon and people. You can see in the kitchen someone is preparing food. It smells like pizza in here, and they are cosplaying as Elodie in her original outfit. There is a lot of just people doing various activities that are enshrining the Packo, and I'm going to roll to see if any of them notice you. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's just a 20. Yeah. In one moment, detecting Schmidt's fear, all of the Packo fans turn their attention immediately at the door, and they all stand up and go, woohoo! And they're all very excited. And they slowly, like some of them cautiously, some of them rush over to the two of you and start like hammering you with questions. What's going on? How'd you get here? Like, did you defeat Kyogre? What's your next mission? Etc. Like, did you take autographs? Blah, blah, blah. They're clamoring for two things in particular. The first of which is that they want Elodie to say something inspirational.
I know just what to say.
What will Elodie
You're
say?
never too old. You're never too old to be an adventurer.
Everyone loses their shit. They go, whoa! She set the line. She set the line. The person in the kitchen who is making the pizzas looks very embarrassed, and she starts stripping off parts of her cosplay so that she looks less like Elodie, because now that you're here, she's like, oh my goodness. Schmidt, you are approached by the child doing the coloring pages, and he turns over his sketch of Packo, and he hands you a crayon, and he asks for your signature. Do you give it to him?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You sign his little colored picture of Packo. It's distinctly Packo, not necessarily a Farfetch'd. You just like recognize it. It's been vectored onto just like, so it's just the outlines, and he's been coloring it in with color. There's some creative liberties. There's some brown on the feathers that go outside the lines, but he's also made the leek like a brilliant pink purple just for fun. Because, you know, why not? Everyone is so elated to have you visit, and you just feel an overwhelming sense of what it's like to be adored by regular people for being heroes. And that fills you with determination. And you gain the Packo fan club bonus, which is the adoration of the eccentric Quackies. Fill the Packo with determination, granting the ability to replace any attack roll or single enemy saving throw with a critical hit. One use for each trainer. It's like a portent dice kind of vibe.
Yo, that's sick.
Not the Quackies.
It's the
The
Quackies.
Quackies. The Quackies
Sounds like
sounds
our
like an
award
award
show.
show. Yeah.
You can RP saying there for as long or as short as you like. But that is your bonus for giving a charismatic speech and for signing the Quacko picture.
I think if I can, I'll bring some coloring pages back for Cindy and Gimli.
Perfect. They have all of the Mons as well as all of the trainers. Which ones do you select?
Definitely a Soli and a Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
I'll grab a Fang and who do I want else do I want to grab for Gimli? I have a Lasagna.
That's a
Excellent. Yeah, very
It's
good.
a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah, they happily give those away. And of course, they ask for some more autographs and just general check ins. And they want to show you their fan art and all that great stuff. And after some time passes, it's getting late in Lily Cove. And they understand that if you have to get back to being a hero, they will let you go and that they will continue supporting you from here in Lily Cove City.
Amazing.
I guess there's just one more on your list. You are welcome to, as a whole group, go to Doofer Town. If you saw my notes, that means you guys are just going to get the shit. There's no rolls. So, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. First and foremost, as you all gather in Mossheap to prepare to go to Dewford, Gimli will come to speak to his father, and he'll say, I'd love to go with you. Is it all right if I come with you guys to go to Dewford Town?
Yeah, I was going to come pull you to come with us in the first place.
Gimli says, awesome, thanks, Dad. And you all head over to Dewford Town. Is your first order of business getting Gimli's belongings?
Yeah.
You will head over to Granite Cave, which now has the top blown off thanks to the NRG attack. It is kind of just a bowl. It is almost vaguely similar
The
to
granite bowl.
Yeah. It's almost like a wide Sootopolis, almost like a shallow, wide Sootopolis. You all go as a group. There's a lot of power emanating from the five of you. Gimli and the Quacko Packo just are very notable trainers. Dewford is like full of Corsola. They're still here. And it seems that some of the buildings are also being rebuilt with shed Corsola spikes as well. So like you'll see like an archway from a door that's all pink and made of Corsola coral. Everyone's kind of like using the Corsola, and they're living here harmoniously too. It seems that they've spread from Pacific Log now and also live here, and people love hanging out with them. Pretty neat.
Hell yeah.
As you go to Granite Cave, you see that it's just kind of like, it's been exploded. And Gimli thinks, man, how are we ever going to get my stuff back? Who knows if it's even in there? And I normally would make you do a roll, but you're all here. So, Gimli, you will observe that as you approach Granite Cave, you are met by a vaguely familiar friend who only you will remember. A large, nose-looking rock guy, Probopass, will emerge from the entrance to the cave, followed by several Nosepass who are waddling behind. And Probopass is holding up Gimli's bag, as if knowing that you would return. And so Probopass will hand it to you, and I'm assuming that you hand it to Gimli, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. As a summon action, you get Gimli. He gets all of his Pokemon back. There's a Steelix, there's an Omastar, there's some other stuff, but of course his Golem as well. Gimli is very grateful. Additionally, the Probopass will give you, all of you, a look of endearment, a look of gratitude, and I would normally make you roll to determine what it means, but they are grateful that the group of you dealt with their Haxorus problem. None of you really know this besides Gimli, but the Haxorus that you fought with pink blades have pink blades because they were eating the iron noses of the Probopass and Nosepass. It was terrorizing them, and they were trying to share the cave. Because you defeated the Haxorus, they are so very happy. I'm not sure how to flavor this as like a consumable item, but you may remember.
Can we eat the noses?
Maybe they can give you a tiny nose that you can just eat. These guys, they're going to give you some sort of magnetic rock that's like pink. Okay. And if you remember your first encounter with a Nosepass was a very peculiar one in Meteor Falls. Well, these guys will use their magnetic powers to bring that Probopass who's been circling the planet at high velocities endlessly that you can call upon and target a specific creature in the final battle.
God, Probopass drone strike, bro.
You can choose.
Yo, we're going to turn into a jet and bomb the Russians.
Oh my God, Probopass turns into a jet and bombs the Russians. This is crazy.
They will use their magnetic
flies
power
out from
to
space, bro.
direct the nose to just remove one target. That is not gargantuan. Just get them. They're just gone.
Dude, I'm going to nuke Rado with a Probopass. It's going to be so funny. Oh, he's dead. He's not making it the book club.
Dead on sight.
He's
No
dead on
use your
sight.
name on it. You get eyes on Rada.
No,
he's
I
gone.
lock eyes with Rada, and then a fucking nose from the sky just nukes the shit out of him. He's done.
So
He's cooked.
a single target removal thanks to the flying nose. Congratulations.
He's so dead.
After this, a couple things. One, as you all came in, you noticed that a familiar vessel is stationed in the harbor. It is none other than D's Nuts. Do you go take a look at D's Nuts?
Yes.
Okay.
You simply must.
Kira, keep that in.
It's a requirement.
Got him.
It seems that these nuts has been pretty generously repaired. It's pretty clear where the repairs happened. It's with a completely different type of wood. It's like a 50% ship of Theseus at this point, but it's in working condition. Emerging from the harbor is none other than everyone's favorite cop, Brandon. He has returned to Dewford Town along with
Some more than
Delaney.
others.
And he sees the group of you and he gives you all a greeting. He nods and waves and tries not to give any particular attention to Elodie. He will say,
For sure.
yeah, I try my best to clean up these nuts. I can't say that without laughing. Woo. He says, yeah, these nuts should be all fixed up for you. She's totally seaworthy. Not sure what the deal with the rental is if you're going to make that back, but thank you for everything. And I hope that you enjoy these nuts.
Got him.
We will. I think we will enjoy these nuts.
Some more than others.
Additionally, he will give Elodie a little, like, a single button radio that doesn't even have a talk piece or anything. It's like a black box with an antenna and a red button. That's all it is. And he says, listen, if you are in a tough situation and you need the help of the DPD again, we got your back. And he will allow you to summon Dewford Police Operations. As a summon action, Brandon, his Macargo, and the DPD Samurott come to the aid of the Packo, choose a Pokemon, and reduce their AC by 10. The flavor is that Samurott is slashing them and Macargo is blasting them with fire.
So we have a 1-2 punch, guys. We nuke Rada and then arrest the rest of them. This is an easy fight.
Summon the police.
Yeah, we're calling the cops. Brandon, just give you her, like, just get his number. Like, why does he need the radio?
I don't have a phone.
Yeah, this is the Pokemon world. Phones are hard to come by.
Which is so crazy. Like, we can't figure this out. In One Piece, they use fucking snails, for Christ's sake. Like, we can figure something out.
Yeah, this is like a single target, make them easy to hit kind of vibe. So
Nice.
there
Just call the cops.
you go. Any other for fun flavor things for Dewford? Again, no rolls here because you guys went as a whole group, so you just get everything.
Yes, we just take these nuts back.
Oh, you want to return these nuts?
Yeah.
Everyone on board, literally?
Yeah, let's return these nuts.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah. Y'all get on these nuts and you cruise to the north. It's not super long of a, well, it was long when we did it. We'll just say that, we're skipping travel time. You rough through the seas and you make your way there, and you find yourself back near Petalburg at the boat rental place. Y'all go in and try and return these nuts?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The same woman who was there before, Miss Briney, is there, and she'll see the lot of you and she'll say, oh, you guys know you're late, right?
We got a little caught up on things. I don't know if you've heard.
She'll cross her arms and she'll say, I don't know. I'll need at least one of you to make some sort of charisma check to convince her that you haven't been negligent.
I don't know. Like, girly, you don't have a TV? You just sit here?
We did save, Dewford and Moss Deep.
Guys are a little late. Yeah.
You can roll a charisma, Elodie.
I'll do it.
I think
think it
Elodie
should
has
be.
the best charisma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
Max
a
Riz.
+0. Yep.
14?
She will let out a chuckle. She'll say, I'm just kidding. I've seen everything you guys are doing. Listen, I can tell that these nuts has been through a lot. If you need to keep using her for a while, that's totally fine by me. You just pay the normal rental fee. Not giving you these nuts for free, though.
Kira, keep that in.
So I guess this is a boon I didn't necessarily anticipate, but you just can use these nuts if you want.
We have a boat,
Yippee.
Oh, we'll use them.
Hey.
Don't worry.
We'll use them.
No, we'll make good use of them.
So she's still expecting when you're done with these nuts to pay the fee, which was like 2,000 or something. I forget what it was. I'll have to go back and listen.
We'll figure it out.
We certainly have the money.
Yeah.
We'll get a presidential pardon for these nuts.
Yeah,
You know?
I have plenty.
Hello and thank you for listening to the latest episode of Dunsparce Drampa, and welcome to what will be the new record for the longest outro read so far. I'd like to start in the usual fashion by shouting out our latest Patreon supporters, being Hobo, Dragon's Lodge, Big Bad Beetleborg, Shadow NP5, Trashcan Fireworks, and Not Harry. It is only thanks to our beloved listeners, such as yourself, and the incredible generosity of our patrons that we have been able to play this game and upload this podcast for 4 years now. Thank you all so much. First off, yes, it is true. The players and I have recorded the final episode, and it's a doozy. Before any editing or other adjustments, it's 2 4-hour parts for a total of 8 hours of recording that our cherished editor Kira has already begun parsing through. As much as I'd like to commit to our every other week upload schedule, this recording is truly monstrous, and we will likely need additional time to get everything just perfect. We do intend to release it in 2 parts, so we will be sure that the first chunk is released as soon as it's ready. So while I can't give an exact date for the release at this time, I do promise you it will be uploaded as soon as it's ready. If you absolutely truly cannot wait to hear how the story ends and don't mind a lower fidelity experience, our 3rd tier Patreon supporters are able and have already started to listen to the raw audio files. If that is something that you could see yourself doing, then you can consider becoming a patron on our Patreon page. Even outside of the highest tier of patronage, now is a great time to become a Patreon supporter, as there has never been more content to catch up on while we wait for the finale. Tier 2 patrons gain access to my DM chats, where I'll ramble about game mechanics or various prep thoughts, and all tiers gain access to the post-show discussions that occur after every group episode, where the players and I often just riff and digest the happenings of the session that we just recorded. Speaking of content, we have been receiving questions regarding the fate of the podcast after this final 2-part episode. To answer, we have to please ask one more time for your patience, as we promise to make clear the future of Dunsparce and Drampa by the end of the final episode. Thank you so much for your understanding. Additionally, 4/5 of our group recently sat down with an independent Pokemon podcaster, Terminal Creative, where the host Glenn asked us some incredibly insightful questions about the Packo and the podcast in general. We had such a great time chatting, and we strongly encourage everyone listening right now to go check out that interview. It was a ton of fun to record and will serve as even more exclusive Packo content while we wait for the final part of the story to finish cooking. It will be releasing on Terminal Creative's channel on May 7th, and a link to that channel is in the description of this episode. As always, I'd like to plug our Discord server, the Calyrex Game Corner. I'm super active in there myself, and there's nothing like celebrating the show with a bunch of fans who are equally, if not more, invested in the Packo as I am. If you haven't joined the free Discord server already, myself and hundreds of other listeners would love to chat with you in there. Finally, the last update that we have is that we have in fact launched an Instagram profile. If you're on that platform, please give us a follow. Additionally, we intend to share the beautiful fan art that we've received over the years on that platform. If you've made fan art or would like to in the future, please reach out to us if you would like us to repost your fan art, and we would love to do so. Fan art is unironically our favorite part of this podcast, and even if you don't create it yourself, I'd urge you to take a look at some of the pieces that the fans have created, because they are truly exceptional. The links to our new Instagram, CGC Discord, Patreon, and all of our other online stuff are all on our linktree at lanktr.ee/Dunsparce. Thank you all for your incredible support, and we will see you soon for the first part of the final episode.